Las Vegas was a city built on dreams. It became a city where dreams are fulfilled. It remains the place to prove if you belong in the big leagues. Heroes such as Ali, Sugar Ray, and Tyson have all stood on top of the world after conquest here in Sin City. Las Vegas has since opened its gilded gates to the world of mixed martial arts, and this town will never be the same. And the best MMA organization on the planet is once again grabbing headlines in a town that is tough to impress. Pride is back in Las Vegas. Welcome to the Thomas & Mack Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Pride 33, the second coming. Pride Fighting Championships and its stellar array of fighters has turned this city on its ear, and everyone is anticipating a raucous night of mixed martial arts. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron, along with Pride heavyweight Josh Barnett. Frank Trigg will join us a little bit later, we anticipate, after his fight in the ring. Josh, right to the main event. Wanderlei Silva defending his belt against Dan Henderson. Wanderlei is a very aggressive fighter, very worthy of his title.
Aggressive. The man is completely destructive to his opponents. Vicious, relentless. The guy is constantly moving forward. And you know what? Those knees are an incredible weapon for him.
He is the only middleweight champion Pride has ever known. His opponent, Dan Henderson, is the current Pride welterweight champion, looking to become a two-weight class champion. Josh, can he do what he couldn't accomplish 6 years ago, defeat Wanderlei Silva?
Well, Dan Henderson owns that right hand of his, which is an incredible equalizer in any fight he could be in, from heavyweight to all the way down to middleweight. He's got to stay on Wanderlei, and he's got to hit first and not get hit.
To get our Pride fights underway, let's go up to Pride Executive Director in the ring, Mr. Takada.
Hello, America. Welcome. And thank you for coming to Pride 33, the second coming. We are back in Las Vegas again. America, you are intense fans. Absolutely great. That was my impression from the last event. The fighters answered your energy, aggressive fights, but everyone, we not stop there. Tonight, clash of warriors will be even more exciting, even more intense. this ring, the pride ring, is the only judge for the world strongest. Everyone, please enjoy. Each of tonight's top class fight. Thank you very much.
Detroit native and father of two, Jason Ireland is ready to bring his well-rounded fight game to the Pride Ring. A 7-year veteran of MMA, Ireland went on a tear in 2003, winning 9 straight fights.
Jason Ireland, Danzig R1.
But his dreams were derailed in a flash when Ireland was struck and run over by a truck, literally. Now Ireland is ready to make his comeback on the biggest stage in the world. Hansen. Nicknamed Hellboy, he is one of the most feared strikers in the lightweight division. His knees have a habit of leaving opponents unconscious.
Bracket of Hansen. Oh, no! Oh, my God! Incredible!
Coming off a shocking submission loss to Shinya Aoki at Pride Fighting Shockwave 2006, Hellboy Hansen has a message to send to the MMA world.
I think my style, I think I can ruin his confidence. I feel more comfortable with my punching abilities. And I also feel comfortable with my knees and stance and ground and pound. So either way, it doesn't really matter how. As long as it happens.
Joachim Hansen is making his American debut here tonight.
As ruthless I can be, he's a target, an obstacle in the way of my glory. He has to go down.
Jason Ireland taking on Joachim Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pride 33, its second coming. It's good to be back in Las Vegas. The first match in the blue corner, Jason Ireland.
Jason Ireland wearing the tartan of his family. Of course, he does have some Irish in him, and Josh, he's going to have to be one tough Irishman tonight.
Well, he certainly has shown himself to be a scrappy fighter in previous outings, but he's coming off of some serious injuries. Not to mention, he's fighting a purebred killer in Joachim Hansen.
Jason says he may not be the best in any facet of MMA, but he's damn good in all three.
And in the red corner, Joachim Hansen.
Talked about Ireland having some Irish in him. Joachim is from Norway, and he's got a Scottish mother. So the Celt Warrior has that kind of blood running in his veins. He is called the Viking, though, in Japan. And this very international fighter has to be the favorite in the ring tonight, Josh.
I got to agree with you. You know what? Joachim is like the reincarnation of the Vikings themselves. And when he's on, when he's doing his thing in the ring, he pretty much raises his opponents to the ground and leaves a smoking husk of a shell of a man.
And if you don't think the Norwegians are tough, well, you just ask any other Norwegian or any Swedish state, anybody up in that territory, and they will tell you the Norwegians are some of the toughest around. These two fighters matching up at 161 pounds each. Joachim Hellboy Hansen and Jason the Irish Tornado Ireland.
Introducing the first, fighting in the blue corner. He stands 5 feet and 10 inches, weighing in at 161 pounds. From the United States of America, Jason R1! And now fighting in the red corner. He stands 5 feet 10 inches, weighing in at 161 pounds. From Norway, Jørgen Hansen!
Gentlemen, you know the rules. We all expect a good, clean, fair fight. Obey my commands, protect yourself at all times, come out ready to fight. Hook 'em up. Good luck.
Referee Steve Mazzagatti giving the final instructions to Hansen and Ireland. Pride 33, the second coming back in Las Vegas.
All right, guys, here we go. Bring it on!
Here we go. 3 rounds, 5 minutes each. Ireland in the white trunks, Hansen in the black. What do you expect early on, Josh?
Well, I think Ireland's going to try and assert himself and show that he's not afraid of Joachim. Joachim, on the other hand, he's going to be looking for the shot to put him down.
And Ireland has taken Hansen down.
Now, Joachim is actually a quite accomplished grappler off of his back and has a known skill set of being able to outstrike his opponents even when he is on his back.
Ireland's going to back up, let Hansen get back on his feet.
Yeah, Joachim needs to make sure to not let those low kicks accumulate and slow him down for the later rounds.
Oh, a great leg kick almost took Hansen down. He came firing back at Ireland, and he ducked out of the way.
Stop!
You heard the story about Ireland being run over
right over here.
by
Let me get this tape fixed.
An F-350 truck.
Oh, wow.
Busted up his hip, tore him up, and now we've got a referee stoppage to check. I think actually just an equipment problem. The laces came untied on Hansen, but Ireland run over by the truck, had to miss 18 months, and he's back. What a testament to his courage.
And I thought dislocating my shoulder was bad.
All right, so they have everything fixed up with Joachim Hansen in the black trunks, and we're back in action here in round number 1, Pride 33, MMA action, the best on the planet coming your way from Las Vegas.
Ireland seems to be working the clinch quite a bit, and he's constantly peppering those legs. I think he's really counting on that later on in the fight.
And you see Ireland with his hand down there, just a touch feel down there on those very deadly knees of Joachim. And they could come out of nowhere and finish a fight in a flash.
Get off the ropes.
Well, I've noticed that Ireland really hasn't looked to take a shot like a double leg or a single leg tackle so far, because he's probably seen a lot of highlight reels of people getting hit by that vicious knee of Joachim's.
We saw that in the walk-in video. A couple of fighters trying to do just that, and Joachim seems to know just before the fighter was going to do that. And now it's Joachim taking the advantage and taking Ireland down.
Here, I think Joachim is really going to look to unload some vicious strikes off the top. He's in good position, and he's got Ireland, on his back, pinning him to the mat, right where he wants him to be.
He's going to hold him down as he gets on his feet, and he'll go into the side.
Nice pass to side control by Joachim. He's going to work his striking game, but first he's going to try and recover and solidify that position of his so he can really land the shots that are going to count.
Ireland from Michigan and Joachim Hansen from Oslo, Norway. Joachim really trying to prove that he belongs as one of the top echelon fighters in Pride.
Oh goodness, this is not looking good for Ireland right now. He did give up the back for the mount, which is a little better in my opinion, but got to watch for that choke, and at this point, he has no ability to create much offense at all.
And now Hansen trying to work an air of anticipation in the crowd as Joaquin tries to roll over Ireland to get better position.
Yeah, Joaquin got a little high there, and it was a little bit in danger of falling off the back, but he's riding. He seems to be comfortable riding high right there. He's looking for that choke, or at the very least, to transition to the armbar. Nice figure four, the body triangle there, taking the wind out of Ireland.
Can't really, now you see up close. And Joaquin does not have the ideal position yet. Ireland hanging on.
Yeah, those gloves certainly make a big factor in trying to achieve any chokes, or even just to simply slip those arms in for any underhooks, because it has so much bulk there. It makes it easy for your opponent to hang on and keep them locked in underneath an armpit or in the crook of any sort of arm or elbow.
And often you'll see this is the best time for a fighter to try this in the first round when you're not too slippery or sweaty. It gets harder as you go through, and Ireland gets out of it.
Sure enough, Ireland saying, hey, I'm not done here. You got me in some bad spots, but that's going to take a lot more than that to make me quit.
But that took a lot out of Ireland, looking a little bit winded here late in this first 5-minute round.
Surely that body triangle had to have taken some of his recuperative ability away when he was on the bottom. Nice roll through to take the back by Joaquin.
And back where we started about a minute and a half ago.
Joaquin peppering the body, trying to soften him up just in case, you know, this fight makes it to the next round, which is looking like it might.
Under 1 minute to go in round one, scheduled for 3.
Money in the bank, they call that in boxing, hitting the body.
Ireland cannot, he may have been able to throw elbows if they're allowed, but they're not, so he's just trying to use the back of his fist, and that is very little power.
Watch back of the head.
Yeah, really, Ireland shouldn't even be concerning himself with striking right now. He really needs to achieve a better position so that he can actually get some offense off on his own, just like coming out on top right there.
There you go. At least he got the reversal, and now it's Joaquin Hansen on his back. Both fighters maybe just playing out the last few seconds. No, Ireland tried to go in for the punch.
Looking for the kill. It was a good move on Ireland's part, and certainly the fight really hasn't been going his way so far. That was a good chance to find some offense. Now scoring well with the punches on top.
What a fantastic finish to that first round for Jason Ireland.
A way to stay in the fight on Ireland's part, and certainly to get in his opponent's head that he's not rolling over for him.
All right, well, we've talked about the rules of Pride. They're a little bit different here in the United States. Of course, we mentioned no elbows allowed. And at times, elsewhere in Pride fights overseas, there is some kicking allowed, but we do have 3 5-minute rounds, except for our main event will be 5 5-minute rounds, a 10-point must system. Like all boxing, illegal actions include strikes to the groin, eyes, and throat. Elbows, knees, or kicks to the head are not allowed of a grounded opponent. No biting, hair pulling, or headbutts. Quickly, Josh, do you think that any of those rule changes will affect any of the fighters tonight?
I think that these rules are certainly capable, you know, all these fighters are capable of fighting within that, but I know a lot of these fighters here use the stomps and the knees to the grounded opponent as a really main weapon of theirs to inflict some damage and to keep their opponents guessing.
All right, we're just about set to begin round number 2. Recuperative powers will be tested right now. 1 minute between these 5-minute rounds. It is Jason Ireland in the white taking on Joaquin Hansen. And Hansen really held the upper hand, as it were, a couple of times, but Ireland turned it around, and now he gets Hansen on his back.
Nice attempt at Harai Goshi by Hansen. Looking forward there, now back to the feet and sort of nullifying anything that may have happened after that takedown.
You heard that. And now Ireland in danger of being pummeled by the knees of Hansen.
That right uppercut really set him on well, I don't want to use the phrase, but he's hurt.
It is Ireland backed into a neutral corner, and Hansen starting to pummel away with the fist. The knees buckle of Ireland, and down goes Ireland with Hansen in control.
Nice takedown by Hansen. He was looking to score some shots on the feet, but now by taking it to the ground, he's going to even things up, get his position. I think he sees the finish is within sight.
Immediately as round 2 began, Hansen took control, staggered Ireland, started kicking away in that neutral corner with Hansen in total control now.
Ireland giving up his back where he feels he's more apt to survive any of the onslaught that Joaquim is bringing. But all this time he carries Joaquim's weight, he's gonna feel that as far as his conditioning.
Another big knee strike and a huge mouse under the left eye of Ireland, and I wouldn't be surprised if something's broken in there, Josh.
Sure enough, and you know what? Joaquim is really sort of looking like a Terminator. He's just walking straight through everything that Ireland throws at him.
It took him 5 minutes to get warmed up, but Hansen seems to know exactly where and when to strike Ireland for the most pain.
And like I said earlier, Joaquim is a purebred killer. He has got a great finishing sense, and when he sees his opponents hurt, he smells that blood, he's all over him.
Joaquim looking for the moment where he can best finish this fight. He's not going to do anything rash. He is in total control. He's got Ireland hurt and tired, but now it looks like Ireland might have the arm of Hansen.
Yeah, Ireland down there looking, it's a very common attack, although it's probably easy for a guy like Joaquim to block it, but he needs to pay attention and not get too relaxed while Ireland has that double wrist lock from the half guard there.
That's the thing with mixed martial arts, Josh, in any position. If you let yourself get loose just a little bit, your opponent is good enough to grab you, throw an arm bar, an ankle, anything, and finish the fight.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Sorry.
But Ireland there, sort of an interesting attack, using the heel strike on Joaquim's ankle and calf.
He's got to do something to try to soften the grip that Hansen has on him.
3 minutes into the second round.
Joaquim using a good escape there. Sort of, it can actually get your own double wrist lock out of that position by arching up and curling that arm that he's attacking inside your own chest.
Well, maybe right now Ireland just wants to stall things enough to get referee Steve Mazzagatti to stop the action, but so far it looks like both fighters still have an avenue of attack.
Well, Ireland is certainly dead set on keeping a hold of that arm, but it looks like he wasn't able to hold on to it anymore.
He gave it up. There was just not the leverage he needed, and now Hansen begins to creep in to try to finish this fight.
Yeah, working for that side choke. He's looking to push that elbow up across his face, duck that head under. Oh, now he decides, hey, forget it. I'm going to get mount. I'm going to take this guy out with my hammers.
Now maybe a ground and pound offense for you, Joaquim.
Once again, a familiar position for this fight. Joaquim on Ireland's back.
And after the second round.
If I'm Joaquim right now, I forego the choke at this point and just start wailing on him. Let him loose and see where he goes from there. He's going to have to react eventually.
That's a good strength of Hansen, just that ground and pound, but I think he'd prefer to have Ireland on his back. He seems a little handcuffed in this position, though, Ireland does.
Yeah, he does, and Joaquim keeps getting his gloves caught up, and Ireland is really good at slowing this fight down. He's losing a little bit of muscle fatigue by trying to hold on so much, but at the very least, it's keeping him in this fight.
He's still in the fight, exactly, I was going to say that. So just about 20 seconds to go in this second round, and Joaquim Hansen now trying to finish it off.
Nice armbar attempt, hammer fist to get him to let go. In fact, that's one of my favorite entries into the armbar off the back, too.
Pounding on the head of Jason Ireland as the seconds tick to the end of round number 2, trying to get Mazzagatti to stop it. No, he does not. And we'll go to round 3.
Man, he held out Ireland, but that is going to stay in his mind when he's in the corner trying to recover. He's going to be thinking about that when his head is throbbing.
Just amazing action from Joaquim, trying to finish that fight off. But a very stubborn and who'd have thunk it, Ireland. Well, they are a stubborn people.
Irish stubborn? Got a little Irish in me.
All right, let's take a look at some of the replays from round 2.
Now you got Joaquim here going for the armbar. Wanted to pull him straight back over the top. Instead, ends up going forward, rolling through. He knows he's stuck in that armbar with little time left. So, hey, forget it. He's a big fan of Man of War, and their whole thing is the side of the hammer, so he decided to let his hammers down. Decides to let the hammers come down on his opponent there.
And just in the nick of time, saved by the bell, was Jason Ireland. And you saw Joaquim trying to urge Steve Mazzagatti to stop the fight. but did not get anything from Mazzagatti. So we're now in the third and final 5 minutes here. Pride 33 in Vegas.
Look at the appeal by both of these guys to get it up and get the fans going here.
Hansen, not a great striker. Ireland, not a great striker either, but they're on their feet as we begin. But the knees of Hansen are some of the best in the game.
Well, Hansen is really having his way with Ireland right now. And as you say, Lon, both of these guys are not very clean strikers. They're not the kind of guys you would call strikers for their main weapons. But Joachim makes up for finesse with power.
And I think, as you mentioned early on, but I think it's worthy of underscoring, is that Ireland not going down for that double shot because of those knees are so dangerous.
I'm sure they really worked on that, or we're really going to think, you know what, this guy's clipping people's heads off with that knee as they come in, so why bother? Since initiate a clinch game and work from there.
And now, after the knee strike, he does get the shot high on the legs.
Nice high dive, more like a Greco-Roman shot. Let's see what Ireland can do on top here. He did score some strikes towards the end of round one, but he's got to know that he's got to take Joachim out or this fight is going the other direction.
Absolutely. I'm sure Hansen ahead on all cards. He has been in control except for a few fleeting moments.
Joachim working a rubber guard similar to how he got caught against Aoki. Is it a little bit of a learning how he got in trouble himself? Nice triangle set up. He's tightening it up. Hansen, Ireland here has his head down, which is exactly where you don't want to be. Joachim is going to punish him until he can pull that head in, tighten that triangle up, and put him to sleep.
Ireland almost defenseless, and Steve Mazzagatti, the referee, right on top of the action, checking things out very closely as Ireland.
That triangle is getting very tight for Ireland. Joachim's now even trying to get some position by hooking under the leg and turning about perpendicular to his opponent and cutting off those arteries and putting an end to this fight. Nice transition to the armbar.
Oh, and now he's pushing back on the head with the strongest muscles in his body, and that arm going further and further back. Can Ireland hang on any further?
Just a few more inches.
He's got to raise the hips. Hansen's got to get his hips up.
It's hurting him. You can see the look on Ireland's face as he grimaces in pain.
Oh, and Hansen talking to the referee, and that is it!
Ireland verbally submitted, it seemed, from here and just had enough.
Oh, and that arm is in a big world of hurt. Joachim Hellboy Hansen gets the tap out from Jason Ireland in the third round.
Ireland certainly showed that he belonged in the ring here with guys with a caliber of fighter like Hansen. And really nothing to lose there. Stayed in the fight up until the very last minute and constantly tried to finish this match.
Literally in the last, well, we go 5 minutes. Back in K1. That was a 2:33 of round number 3 by armbar submission. Joachim Hellboy Hansen is your winner.
Certainly got to be a nice step back onto the road of victory that he was traveling on before being abruptly overturned by Shinya Aoki in Japan on New Year's Eve.
As we mentioned, he was on a mission to prove his worth in Pride, and I think he did that very well tonight. Jason Ireland was a tough man, but goes out defeated.
Right through here, guys.
Way to go, Viking, huh?
Back to fight just because really my heart and soul I want to. People always ask me why you're so cocky. I'm cocky because I'm confident. You have to be cocky walking around in the pride ring and expect some guy not to hit you in the head. Of course I'm cocky. I've spent the time, I've done everything I have to do. I'm confident that I'm going to end this fight extremely early.
Frank Trigg. Making his second appearance in the Pride ring, Frank Trigg has come out of fighting retirement because he has some unfinished business.
I'm a much different fighter than I used to be. I'm a lot quicker, I'm a lot faster, I'm a lot stronger, even though I'm fighting 15 pounds heavier. This is a great step in myself. Look, I'm here at 185, I'm effective at 185, and I'm going to kick the crap out of the way they put in front of me.
There it is. Trigg with the uppercut and the right. That was the right uppercut, left hook. Trigg throwing bombs here. Oh, right hand by Frank Trigg, right on the jaw. Big left uppercut. The fight is over. A dominating victory by Frank Trigg.
After taking out Fabino Iha back at Pride 8, Trigg went on to do battle in the UFC and recently just crushed Jason Mayhem Miller at Icon in Hawaii. A Pride fighter, but also part of Pride's broadcasting team.
To me, fighting in Pride is huge. I'm already a commentator. For me to fight for them, too, is incredible for me. When I first started fighting, this is the whole point was for me to get to the Pride Fighting Championship. It's the biggest organization in the world. I wanted to have that happen for me in Pride 8, and now it's happening for me again in Pride 33. Basically, here's my game plan. I'm going to take him down, beat the crap out of him, get back up to his feet. I'm going to take him down again and beat the crap out of him some more. There's no way he's going to stop him. It's impossible. I'm just too strong and too fast for this man.
Misaki, one of the toughest Japanese fighters in Pride fighting, is bringing his well-rounded fight game to the U.S.
Tag, but now comes back with a couple of rights of his own. Nicely up the middle by Misaki, and now
body shot.
Unleashed. Great exchange between Baroni and Misaki.
Recently winning the Pride welterweight tournament by defeating Dennis Kang, Misaki has definitely proven that he is next in line for a shot at Pride's welterweight championship belt. But first, Misaki must get through Frank Trigg on American soil.
He said that they're probably, during our fight, they're probably going to be chanting USA. At the end of the fight, he's hopeful that they're going to be chanting Misaki. The only reason why they're chanting the name is in a eulogy. They're going to be writing the name out. Put your dick right there.
Frank Trigg taking on Kazao Misaki.
And now for the second match in the blue corner, Frank Trigg.
It's been 8 years since Frank Trigg appeared on a Pride fight card, and what a night to come back.
Goodness, and he can certainly talk a good game coming from somebody like myself who is pretty well versed in talking a good game. But if there's a line, he certainly doesn't have any trouble crossing it.
Absolutely, but I'll tell you, he's going to have his hands full tonight with Kazuo Misaki. Coming in as the Pride Grand Prix winner. He's going to be coming with excellent cardio and top chin, just as usual.
And that is the voice of Dennis Kang, who we welcome into our broadcast booth for this fight and for the next fight. And we will tell you one reason why, because he's a good guy, but also he's got some history with Misaki, who will be happy to share. But Frank Trigg making his entrance here to the ring at the Thomas and Mack Center said the first round could be very interesting. He needs to keep constant pressure on his opponent tonight, and if he can do that, his opponent will fold.
I certainly agree with you there, and at one point in time, Trigg was considered a feared fighter in the world of MMA.
Kazuo Misaki.
Misaki, one of the top middleweights in the world. He is the Pride Grand Prix champion, defeated Phil Baroni along the way to the finals there.
Yeah, Misaki is really one of the epitomes of toughness in this sport. Well-rounded fighter, doesn't have one particular weapon that stands out, but he's never overwhelmed in any one of his fights.
Very intense individual, to say the least. I mean, always coming in, like I said, with great cardio and just extremely durable. You know, can do a little bit of everything, a little bit of stand-up, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu. Always goes 100% the whole 3 rounds.
And Dennis Kang, you know that better than most people. It was back in November of last year where you felt to defeat against Misaki.
That's right. We fought long, we fought hard. In the end, he came out the winner. We'll see if we can do it again in the future.
Love to see you guys back in the ring. The Grapaka Hitman, Kazuo Misaki, will take on Twinkle Toes Frank Trigg tonight in Vegas.
I heard that on the other end.
I knew I was going to happen.
The second introducing in the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 9 inches, weighing in at 183 pounds. From the United States of America, Frank Trigg! And fighting in the red corner, he stands 5 feet 11 inches, weighing in at 181 pounds. From Japan, Kazuo Misaki!
Frank, Misaki, come on, stand up. Okay, this match 5 minutes 3 rounds, okay? No elbow tuck, upper neck, okay? On the ground, no kick his head, or non-stop, okay? Clean fight, shake out.
The third man in the ring for this battle, Yuji Shimada, and this is going to be very interesting. Frank Trigg and Kazuo Misaki.
I've been waiting for this one all week. I tell you, it's my favorite one tonight. Interesting to know, Frank Trigg used to be a 170-pounder, beefed up, and now fighting in the welterweight, 185.
And certainly, and he's coming off a great win over an incredibly tough individual that you have fought before, Jason Mayhem Miller, and just demolished him. Let's see if that scary Frank Trigg of old can come back and show himself in this fight.
Let's see it tonight. Overeem starting a little slow right now.
If nothing else, you're going to see a very active Misaki. He does like to move around. He says his speed will be a problem for Frank. Frank says, what speed?
If Misaki says anything he does is good, Frank will tell you it's crap.
I think the most physical and strongest fighter tonight is definitely going to be Frank Trigg. He's got the power to muscle around Misaki. If he can keep it up all night, he can get a decision.
Talking with Matt Hume earlier, he says he rolled with Trigg earlier this week, and Frank is in great shape.
Wow, he does certainly look in great shape, and the Japanese are not really known for cutting much weight, so I would expect that Trigg would have the weight advantage in the ring tonight.
And now
nice takedown here.
With a nice takedown, absolutely. Misaki on his back. Frank says the first round was going to be a wild card. He's not quite sure what's going to happen, but if it goes any deeper, he's just going to pressure Misaki.
Sure. Hey, Dennis, what can you say about Misaki on the ground?
I say he's very slippery and very relaxed. You know, he really waits for you to move and then tries to pop out and explode right there. I think right now he's, like we can see, he's a little bit in trouble getting caught in the bottom side mount, but any minute he's going to be able to pop out.
Sure, very relaxed. And, you know, his team, Grapaka, the name actually is a combination of some Japanese words, grappling and baka, so goes by the name of grappling idiots. However, he seems pretty smart on the ground to me.
He ain't grappling stupid.
Maybe he's checking account stupid, though.
Trigg.
Here we go. He's got a potential head and arm choke here if he tightens it up with his head.
And then he would look to pass and jump across that side control, from knee ride slide across, and take the side choke over on the other side, right?
Absolutely.
Why am I asking you?
Trigg just trying to play the chess game now and get one piece at a time of Misaki till he can get all of him. And now Misaki gets up the back.
Trying to take the back. Very nice move here.
You think that would be a good technique for Trigg? Well, you say it's a nice move, but do you think that's really where Trigg should be?
Oh, he's got the neck.
It seems to be working so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. Remember, if Misaki reverses this, he's going to be the one on top.
That's true.
To spin out of this. He's got the body triangle now locked in on his stomach. Can be very uncomfortable if he squeezes his legs. A lot of pressure on the rib cage.
Depending on what he ate as well.
You can find out the bad way.
Well, Frank Trigg now just holding back. He's a spectator, just trying to find out what Misaki's going to do and develop his offense in response.
Yeah, personally, my feelings is that Trigg might have been better off to just stay in like a side control, like take the back, get a spiral ride, and just sort of pound away at his opponent until his opponent decides to move and give him an option to either take side again, mount, whatever, stand above him and throw down some punches.
I agree. I think that Misaki's still a little bit fresh right now to catch him in a submission. Chipping away with punches, like you said, from side mount, Josh, would have been the better idea.
Sure, and you know what? Trigg is an accomplished grappler as well, but really this is more Misaki's game, this real intricate jiu-jitsu style of really close, little movements. Trigg is a wrestler. He wants to be more physical.
Misaki with two hands on Trigg's right arm, but he can do nothing with it.
That's right. Well, he's doing it just for defense. We call it a 2-on-1. He lost it right here. He should be getting it again. Right now,
the neck open for Trigg.
Yeah, he's looking for the face lock there. It's a very strong technique. Jeff Munson is known to put away quite a few opponents with it.
Frank Trigg in command.
In command, but I don't think doing any real damage.
Right, but he is in control. He's not allowing Misaki to do any damage.
Absolutely.
I think with this round, if it ends this way, what Trigg is really going to get out of this is taking Misaki's wind away by that body triangle and sort of keeping him in a bad position and hoping that sticks in Misaki's mind when he comes out of the second round, thinking that he needs to do something to come ahead into this fight.
Which is what Frank wanted to do. He wanted to get through the first round, maybe wear him down a bit, and then put the pressure on him, which he says is the key to Misaki. Under 30 seconds to go in this first 5-minute round.
Trigg still working the face crank here, trying to grind away at his jaw, twist his neck a little bit. What Misaki needs to do, if I were him, is spin to the other side, so that's Frank's locked feet on the bottom, then spin out towards the other knee on top.
It would almost be more better idea for Misaki, like you're saying, spin, even if he gives up mount, immediately when he knows that Trigg is coming to land that mount position, take that escape there while there's movement.
I agree.
End of the first round, it was Frank Trigg who really had everything in control. As you mentioned, Dennis, not that much damage done, but again, on the other hand, Misaki couldn't do any damage either.
Absolutely, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see if Misaki can come back strong, gain some momentum here in the second and third round.
All right, well, a lot of fans here in Vegas. There is Indiana Jones.
Blade Runner.
A big fan here of Hugh O'Brien. We also saw here on Lon McCarron along with Dennis King and Josh Barnett. Dennis, in that first round, very different from when you fought Misaki?
A little bit different, yeah. Frank Trigg had his back, mounted him, trying to land a little bit of punches, not doing too much damage, but like we said, keeping control. It's got to have taken its toll on Frank Trigg to keep all that control, though, and doing all that offense. We're going to see if he's going to be tired in the second round.
Well, Frank is nothing if not a showman. I found him to be very patient through that first 5 minutes, and a lot of people in that position might want to just finish it off, become a big star, but he's working it.
Frank knows that if he's going to keep his cool, that his opportunity is going to come to finish this match.
All right, so let's see if Trigg's prognostications can come true and he can keep the pressure on Misaki, and, well, his Japanese opponent fold indeed.
Well, if you keep using big words like that, Lon, I think you're going to lose me.
Oh, and a big takedown
nice
by
body
Trigg.
lock takedown here.
So back where we ended round one.
Trigg there with what basically was a Pavel twist, a Greco-Roman takedown, just spun him right to the mat, right to side control. I'm sure he's feeling very comfortable right now, and he's going to work to get the position he wants to cause the most amount of damage, which I think is going to be either mount or he's going to work for a high side control and try and trap an arm with the knee.
That's right. Trigg's not really expending too much energy right now, just using his weight and leaning everything on Misaki's torso, making him breathe heavy.
If I'm Misaki, I'm totally frustrated. If I'm not a mature Misaki, that's going to lead to mistakes.
Yeah, it's a bit like, an annuity. If you're not mature, you're really not worth a lot.
You got to be mature winning the welterweight Grand Prix, though, and that's exactly what Misaki did. I don't think he's panicking. He knows he's in trouble, but he's being patient. He's staying calm, certainly.
Frank trying to use those shoulder butts, and you see Misaki getting the hand in there to try to defend those.
Yeah, there was an earlier moment where really it seemed as if the pride rules from Japan were in effect. Trigg had a real line sight to land some devastating knees.
Frank Trigg in total control here.
No knees allowed when the opponent is on the ground.
Very nice mount.
And now Trigg gets the back as Misaki able to spin. Can he spin out of it though?
Nice
Excellent riding here.
Frank just riding it.
He's got him flattened out. Trigg needs to start laying the shots in while he can. He's got his opponent's hips on the mat. If he can get his hips back down on the mat again, there's nowhere for Misaki to go except, right into the mat.
That's right.
Misaki is moving pretty slow. I think this is starting to affect him mentally at least.
Here we go, back on their feet right here.
Back on the feet now. We'll see if we can start from scratch and see if Misaki can pile up some points himself. Now he starts to throw some of the leather.
Oh, nice kick here by Frank Trigg. Let's see if he's working his kickboxing skills.
Good right hand.
Stunned him, definitely. Let's see if he can capitalize on it.
Trigg's got to watch out for that. Being a southpaw, everything's reversed for him. The right hand and the left hand for Trigg is going to be the main weapons against each other.
That's right, especially with the inside low kick and the body kick.
Right, exactly. They're big targets for these guys.
I've seen Misaki do some pretty nice jumping knees in the past against Phil Baroni. He could be using it tonight, especially on a southpaw.
There he goes with one attempt at it.
Trigg looking a little winded here.
He is looking a little tired, I have to agree. His hands are slow. He's not really putting punches in bunches. Looking for the big shot, just kind of hanging back and trying to get his win.
And he's losing points in the process, but he's got to be on his feet to do that as well. So it's a double-edged sword for Frank Trigg right now.
Misaki almost landing punches at will here on the feet. Not doing a lot of damage, but still taking their toll. Chipping away slowly at Frank Trigg.
Picking his shots, and Trigg has to be careful that the one that gets through finally doesn't put him on his butt.
That's right. Barely misses with a knee here. Trigg going for the takedown. Very nice double leg takedown elbow.
This is where Frank Trigg has been most comfortable. You saw that minute or so on their feet, and you got to give that section of the fight to Misaki.
Let's see if that's going to add up enough to sway the judge's decision if this goes to another round.
1 minute left in the second round.
Misaki getting a few short shots on Frank Trigg.
Trying to stay active here off the bottom. I'd like to see him work a submission, maybe a triangle or armbar. That would be the way to keep the momentum going. Frank Trigg, great ground and pound.
Now if he can pick up his upper body, he can start throwing some bigger shots and get the better leverage.
Absolutely.
That forearm on the throat there from Trigg, taking some of Misaki's air that he so desperately needs. But Misaki, like Dennis is saying, he needs to be more active with his ground game, either by looking for a reversal, a submission, something. Chipping little punches like that off the back are not going to win him this fight.
And apparently this is where the fight is going to be won or lost. And it is Frank Trigg's fight right now to lose.
Trigg extending his arm a little bit too much, and has to be careful that he doesn't let that arm come across Misaki's body, because he'll throw himself right into an armbar.
That's right, but this late in the fight, it's a little bit hard to lock in tight submissions because of the sweat dripping off the fighters' bodies. It's going to be hard to climb those legs up. There we go.
That is the end of round number 2. A better one for Misaki because he got to his feet. I got to think that might be his strategy as we get into round 3.
Yeah, I think so.
Trigg.
All right, so let's see some of the action from round number 2. A better one for Misaki.
Trigg coming in on that hard double, lifting him, dumping him, putting him back on the ground, and stopping Misaki's pinpoint shots. Nice kick by Misaki, followed by
nice
the
right hand right here by Misaki.
Right on the butt.
Stunned him, caught his attention. Frank Trigg hasn't been the same since then.
Right. If it was Dennis Kang, I don't think it would have had much.
I would have shooken it off.
All right, so as we prepare for round 3, I'm sure a lot of strategy going through the red corner of Misaki, the blue corner of
Misaki still looking fresh. Frank Trigg, like he recovered somewhat.
Well, 34-year-old Frank Trigg says he hasn't been able to keep his mind on this fight much. He's here in his hometown. He's got a lot of people. He's got a lot of duties to do around this fight. So he's got to focus his final 5 minutes or he could be in trouble.
That's right. Misaki's a survivor, and he knows that he's still in this fight, and he's going to find a way to win it if it's there. Trigg has to keep the pressure on Misaki and never let him get a chance to find any rhythm.
Back on their feet. Let's see if Misaki can be as dominating here in the third as he was in the second.
He's got to keep it standing. Can't let him take him down again.
How is his takedown defense, Misaki?
It hasn't been that effective so far. I mean, we've seen Trigg land takedowns almost at will, you know.
Try again. There was no way that he could deny it.
No way. It was like the ground was a magnet and the other one was sewed into the back of his trunks. Oh, you thought that was funny there, King.
All right, so Trigg now, if he can get loose of that left arm of Kang, he could get a little more leverage.
Hammer fist, hammer fist, hammer fist.
And Misaki, he's just not, he's got to open his guard. Well, it's open now, but he needs to get his hips moving, create movement. Once he creates movement, he can get some sort of opening that can either get to his feet, look for a submission.
That's right. Getting back to his feet, I think, would be the option at this point, because I don't think he's going to catch him in any submissions or anything like that. And his better chance of winning the fight would definitely be for a knockout or TKO on the feet with his hands.
When he's in this position, did you just want to hang on tight and keep Trigg as close as he can? Is that going to...
I'm not a big fan of hanging on tight. It's a little bit too passive. I like to go for submissions, and if I can, try to get back to my feet.
Yeah, certainly if you're just going to try and hang on there, you're not looking to finish the fight, and that could come against you as a deduction against your score anyways.
That's right. If Misaki right here could put both feet on his hips and push Frank Trigg away, he could have a chance of getting back to his feet. Basically what he needs to do is create some space.
Some of the most basic techniques you never think of, simply like your 6-year-old sister puts her feet on his chest, kicks him right off, and it'll create enough space that Misaki can pull his hips back out underneath him and get to a more favorable position.
I don't have a sister.
Wow. Well, then who taught you? Because you seem to be really adept at it.
All right, now Frank from the side. Misaki almost got his legs around the neck of Frank Trigg. But as you mentioned,
position again as the first round.
Yeah.
Trigg here in side control again. I'd like to see Trigg open up a little more. This is the last round. And
he could go for that head and arm choke right here. Look at that. He's got his head right in the armpit. Cinch it up with the neck. Misaki a little bit too squirmy in the bottom.
Right. If Trigg was doing jiu-jitsu, maybe he'd be more apt at that position. However, also, one would think that, like we were talking about, trapping that elbow could be a really good offensive maneuver for Trigg right now, especially since Misaki hasn't seen it attempted on him yet.
That's right. He seems to be content to just wait on the bottom right here. I don't know why he's not trying to escape.
He's just letting the fight really slip out between his fingers.
On the other hand, Frank Trigg is doing a good job of controlling it, working little knees here and there.
Wow, nice knee to the body.
That's right. Again, with the rule change affecting his offense, he's unable to land those knees to the head, which he would be doing right here.
And at this point in the fight, those knee strikes to that part of the body, it can be devastating.
Sure enough, Mullen, I agree with you.
Frank Trigg taking it back again right here.
Once again, right. Although I think we could both agree, Dennis, that Misaki's a little too wily to get caught in a choke at this point. And really at the highest level, it's very rare that you see a guy get caught in a rear naked choke, or a sleeper as I call it, unless he gets caught immediately.
Back to their feet right here. Let's see if Misaki can get some momentum again.
Just Misaki had knockout,
big jumping knee. Very nice uppercut by Trigg.
Oh, a jumping knee, more like a skipping or hopping knee by Trigg.
Both of them really want this fight.
Another knee by Trigg, and now it comes down to the last minute and a half. Misaki has to get active.
That's right. He needs to get on right now. He can't waste any time.
Low kicks alone are not going to win him this fight.
I agree.
Now we're way past the low kick stage. I think he's got to get him high. I think he can hurt Trigg. We saw him tag him in the second round with a great punch. Trigg's knees just wobbled ever so slightly.
Trigg is keeping his hands pretty low too, so I agree with you. That's his best option. Nice double again by Trigg, looking to finish out this round on top.
Great control here. Let's see if he can finish off with a convincing flurry of punches, pass the guard or take his back again. Misaki caught in the ropes here.
You got to wonder, what is Misaki thinking? He's got to know he's losing this fight.
And he's got to be frustrated, just keeps getting taken down over and over again.
And now it's come down to knockout time for Misaki, and he's nowhere near it.
Yeah, I don't really see Misaki's offense submission-wise going to be a factor at this point. Like you said, Lon, he's got to get on the feet and look for that shot.
Yeah, and he's running out of time. Last 20 seconds of the battle.
Action!
Well, looks like old Twinkletoes got through without too much of a mark on him, huh?
He is going to have plenty to talk about when he joins us in the booth.
Goodness, and I wanted something to rip on him about when he got back here. Well, you know, a couple of those kicks were a little dubious. I think I'd seen him on a third grade
he probably
schoolyard fight
himself. Final seconds, and that is it.
Convincing win here by Frank Trigg.
I don't think anybody's going to question that this Trigg is a dynamite contender for anybody at 185 pounds right now. What do you think about that, Dennis?
I agree. He showed great wrestling, great ground control, and a few submissions attempt. Looked a little lacking in the stand-up, but we'll see if he can improve with time.
So Frank Trigg, we expect to be the winner. He has not been announced as such, but let's look at some action from the third round.
That jumping knee by Misaki attempted, but Trigg right there, catching the legs, putting a little outside trip on it, and putting him back onto his butt where he's been the entire fight.
Trigg is just so strong with those takedowns. He comes in so low and just sucks you right in with his arms. I've
trained with Trigg before, and I can say his takedowns are very strong and quick and explosive.
Frank Trigg looking happy, like he knows something we don't.
He must. And you know what? There's no way Trigg can feel that he didn't get this fight. I can't wait for Trigg to watch this and see me razz on him. We've got a relationship like that. First day in the gym, the first words out of his mouth were some pot shot at me, and we just went back and forth. And I think that's the way he shows love.
And there are many ways to show love.
Dennis can show you a few of them himself.
I can show you one or two.
27-30, Trigg. Judge Crosby scores about 27-30, Trigg. Judge Hamilton scored about 27-30.
Unanimous decision.
And there you have it. It is official. Frank Trigg, his first Pride fight in 8 years, and he walks away a winner tonight by decision over Kazuo Misaki.
You got to wonder if Trigg now is thinking, hey, I'm in the game. I'm beating the best of the level in Pride right now. Heck, I might try and stick me back behind here some more. I mean, if I'm Trigg, I'd want to get a few more fights.
And so Frank Trigg, congratulations to him, and he will join us in the booth after the next fight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the third match. In the blue corner, James Lee.
From the United States of America.
You see James Lee and the mention of the conditioning. He is a late replacement for Kazuhiro Nakamura in this battle. Mostly King of the Cage fighter. And tonight he's got to go 3 5-minute rounds. James Lee, a bit of an unknown factor tonight.
Sure enough, and you see that boxing credential under his name. That, I think, is going to be his go-to weapon in this fight. He doesn't want it to go long because he is a last-minute replacement. He's going to try and put Dio out, down and out, and within the first round.
And he's definitely stepping it up in competition tonight.
but he has to be excited. What an opportunity for him to be on this Pride card here in Las Vegas, the second coming, Pride 33. A huge opportunity for this man, James Lee.
And in the red corner, Travis View.
Underscore that word, experienced over 50 fights. Travis View has fought all over the alphabet, IFC, UFC, EC, you name it. Tonight in the Pride ring in the biggest fight of his career.
Got his name the Diesel by being a 270-pound mountain of muscle, a true monster of a man. At one point, when he was a heavyweight, went on a 16-fight winning streak.
That's right. He's had a big weight drop since then. He's back now with a vengeance, coming in to lay a beating.
Actually looks a little swollen on his cheekbones. Maybe just a high cheekbones by nature, but maybe an attack zone. Looks like a beaten up fighter already.
Well, yeah, I agree with the high cheekbones. I think Ford Modeling should probably give him a call right now. I know I'd buy something if he was wearing it.
He is a gamer indeed. Fought just about anywhere, as we mentioned. His goal tonight is to dominate from the get-go. Travis View and James Lee.
The third match, introducing in the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 11 inches, weighing in at 210.5 pounds. From USA, James Lee! And fighting in the red corner, standing 6 feet 3 inches. He weighed in at 205 pounds. Also from USA, Travis View! Referee, Mario Mendoza.
Come on. I already talked to you guys in the locker room. I want you guys to do a clean fight, all right? Good luck tonight.
That is Mario Yamazaki with final words for our two fighters. That is James Lee. He'll be in the red trunks, taking on Travis View in the black trunks. 3 5-minute round schedule. View been working on his stand-up. He says that's the weakest link in his game.
Well, certainly, he has been working on it, but...
James Lee keeping the pressure on right here. Let's see if View can recover. Looking for that single leg. Oh, very nice here.
What a heavy left hand from James Lee. He figured this to be a one-rounder.
Coming right out the gate, swinging hard.
And that was really maybe his only shot, his only best chance to hurt View, and he certainly did indeed.
Right. Oh, James Lee with the guillotine here. Let's see if he can finish it off.
Tight front choke. And he got it.
Wow, incredible. Amazing.
James Lee has shot the Pride fighting world with a victory in the first round over Travis View.
Took the fight on a few weeks' notice. Very short notice coming in, unprepared. But it shows what you can do. You got nothing to lose.
Man, just came out the gate. My God. Crushed him with the left hand. Jumped into that front choke while he was still dazed. There he goes. Gets single leg. Gets right on that front choke. Squeezes that neck. Putting everything he's got into it. Travis View.
All he can see. Travis View. Black. 39 seconds in. Wow.
Oh, and Travis View is stunned. He was hoping to use this night as a launching pad of his career in Pride, but it is James Lee, the substitute.
It's got to be disappointing for View. but completely elating for James Lee.
Holy crap, man. Coming in here, winning on a few weeks' notice, and the biggest stage in the world, it's got to be great.
And he has lit up this crowd. Wow, what a rocky story if there was one. And it was immediately, it was that left hook, I think is what he hit him with, that just stopped you for the first 5 seconds.
Caught him quick.
Comes in with all guns blazing, throwing heavy leather, and it worked for him.
That is amazing. 39 seconds of round 1. He's not even sweating.
That's the way to get a nice work.
Let's see the start.
Nice with the right hook since he's a southpaw, clipped him right in the chin.
Right on the chin. View went out, could not recover. Tried desperately to take him down. Let's see from another angle. Oh, right here.
Man, and View leading with his chin. That is, I guess, a cardinal sin there, baby.
It was. And Dennis Kang liked timing. Oh, you don't agree, Dennis?
I agree. I love timing.
All right, James Lee shocks the fighting world with a big win.
Nogara. He is a member of the Brazilian top team, one of the elite teams in the world. He's the twin brother of Rodrigo Nogara, who has defeated such great fighters as Mirko Prokop. He has beat many opponents with his skillful ground game. His only loss in 4 years came by split decision. He has his sights set on Silva's middleweight belt. Soku. He's the judo champion of Africa. He has come to the U.S. with one intention: to be a pride fighter. He trains with Dan Henderson and Team Quest. Henderson was surprised by his skills at judo. His judo techniques are strong, even giving Henderson a challenge.
Fighting's been part of my life, although I was fighting and it's fun, people get to see some blood and go home and have about it.
Soku versus Antonio Rogerio Nogara.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pride 33, the second coming. It's time now for the 4th match. In the blue corner, Soku.
He was the U.S. Open Division Judo Champion in 2001. He says he's got some special moves tonight for his opponent.
Well, he's certainly going to need him with the lack of experience he's bringing in this ring, but he looks like quite the athlete, which is maybe where his advantage will lie in this fight, keeping it fast enough and somewhat of a controlled chaos. And so not allowing Rogerio to work those great hands of his in that methodical submission game.
Can't do much better than working out with Team Quest if you're looking for submission techniques.
Right, exactly. He's going to work with great wrestlers. People from all over are going to come to work with him. He's going to get a whole assortment of flavors to improve on his game.
Soku from Cameroon, now living and training in Temecula, California, with certainly the biggest night of his professional life. Just 3 professional fights under his belt in MMA, and what a card to draw against Nogara.
Well, he certainly won't have anything to lose in this bout. Sometimes that's what it takes to come out on top.
Well, we have seen that happen more than once.
In the red corner, Antonio Nogara.
Rogerio Nogara has a twin brother with the same name and the same face.
Yeah, they both
nickname.
They have the same penchant for being able to take anything you can give at them. Hard heads, incredibly tough to finish, and I'm glad Lenny didn't pass out after saying his name.
Oh, Nogara had any longer name, I was going to start to call it 911. But it is Nogara who will have his hands full with Soku.
In the blue corner, standing 6 feet, weighing in at 205 pounds, from the Republic of Cameroon, Soku. In the red corner, standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing 205 pounds, from Brazil, Antonio Nogara. Referee, Daisuke Noguchi.
Don't stomping, okay? Free fight, free fight. Check.
Referee Daisuke Noguchi will have his hands on the pulse of this fight. A couple of 205-pounders, Nogara and Soku. Soku in the red trunks on the left of your screen. Rogerio Nogara in the black.
Rogerio just became the Olympic representative for boxing for the country of Brazil. His hands have been known to put his opponents down and keep them there.
I'm sure he wants to keep his country proud, and Brazil always proud. And
oh my God!
Who would have believed it?
Oh my God!
Rogerio down and out. Soku with some of that African magic to win it.
Holy moly! It was like a car accident.
Rogerio has no idea what happened.
23 seconds, and no, we're not tying in with the movie. It's just a bomb from Africa putting Rogerio down.
Decoy kicks from Soku, and then he finishes it with the gloves.
And that traditional boxing sometimes is a deficit against fighting in the MMA ring when unorthodox strikes like this. Bam! Puts him right down and finishes him off.
Noguchi got in there just in the nick of time because Soku was going to rip him up. It was that huge left hand, almost hit
Nice high kick. Falls with that left hook right on the chin. The guy must have hands of granite. Bam! There we go again. Down goes Rogerio, and I cannot believe he was finished by Soku.
Nobody in the fighting world, in MMA specifically, could have expected this. A nobody taking on one of the best in the world.
A future Olympian at that, and here I am, I didn't put any money down.
Soku will walk away a champion, beating a champion in Nogara.
Must be the power of the dread.
Congratulations to the man from Cameroon. He promised some fireworks, and the only fireworks that Rogerio are seeing are in his eyes right now, spinning after that 23-second knockout.
You are an incredible professional, because that is a great analogy.
Wow, and finally Rogerio is up, and he seems all right. But this is worth another look. Wow!
The left hook. You know, maybe I should start training with Soku, because I had trouble putting his brother away.
You did, yeah, that's right.
Well, whack. If I can hit him with that one, I don't think I'll have too much issue.
Oh, what upper body strength shown by Soku. All 205 pounds behind that left fist. Boom, right there.
Wow, and you know, starting fast really was an advantage of Soku, and something I felt that he really should do, because the more experienced fighter is going to create his pacing, slow it down, make it a lot more technical, whereas an athlete like Soku just needs to let it go.
Welcome to Pride, Soku.
Pittsburgh native Mac Danzig is looking to make a huge first impression in his Pride debut.
I've been training really hard for this. I've been doing this for 7 years full time, and getting a chance to fight in Pride, it's a pinnacle of the sport, and I couldn't be happier with it. People are going to see one hell of a fight. They're going to see the most exciting fight of the night, I guarantee you.
Good combination, left hook, straight right. Oh! Beautiful knee from that. Good throw. Oh! Big cut. Soku. It was a big cut. Oh, big cut. Dan left, just right.
This fight's not going the distance, I can guarantee you. I'm either going to finish him on the ground, or I'm going to knock him out.
Sakurai, making his now 11th appearance in the Pride ring. This impressive Japanese lightweight fighter holds victories over fighters such as former UFC lightweight champion Jens Little Evil Pulver and Joachim Hellboy Hansen. One of the most well-rounded fighters in the Pride lightweight division, Sakurai is now looking to make a vicious U.S. debut.
I'm very excited to knock out America in America.
If he's stupid enough to underestimate me, then he's in for a very quick night. After this fight, they're going to remember my name, Mac Danzig, because we're going to see the most exciting fight of the night, and they're going to see a legend go to the
Mac Danzig taking on Maha Sakurai.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 5th match. In the blue corner, Mac Danzig. In the blue corner from
Danzig, very familiar with Frank Trigg, who has joined us in the booth now. Frank, tell us something about your boy.
Besides, he's really, really good looking and looks really, really good with the shirt off. Mac is extremely flexible, incredibly strong for his size. He gave me fits the first 6 months of working out with him because not only is he strong, he's super flexible, kind of like you, Josh, where even if you have a good Kimura, a good Americana on him, he's just looking at you like you're a retard because he's so flexible and strong within it.
All right, and you know, eventually after you got him oiled up, you know, things went a little better for you, I hear.
Yeah, yep, a little bit. Why are you picking on me, Josh?
Because you're my buddy, but you know what? You're exactly right. Danzig is an incredibly tough fighter. My only concern, he's coming off one of his first losses in a long string of victories. Is that going to play on his head?
Mac is one of those guys that's mentally tough. He's had a real tough free life, kind of, his upbringing is really, really tough. He's one of those guys that kind of understands that one loss does not make your career. You can have a string of losses and still come back and be even better for it. And I think we'll see a better Mac tonight.
Mac Danzig never been KO'd or submitted.
In the red corner, Sakurai.
This is Haritonov Sakurai. He is a superstar fighter, a celebrity in Japan. He's a great striker, a terrific grappler. Finished second at Abu Dhabi one year. He is a handful tonight for Danzig.
Yeah, second in the open division, which means all weights covering. Not to mention, great killer instinct. Most of his fights are ended by a finish, and his theme song here, Fujimi no Eriki Man, means electric man never dies.
And he is an electric fighter.
Now you guys have to remember, I was going through a tremendous string of wins. And then I was beating a guy up by the name of Sakurai. I reached out to grab his head and knee him in the head one more time. He hooked me and knocked me down 3 times. And at the time, there was another organization called Shuzo. And they had a standing 8 count. But I was unconscious the entire time.
December of 2000, that was a hard loss for you.
In the blue corner, standing 5 feet 10 inches, weighing 161 pounds, from the United States of America, standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 164 pounds, from Japan, Sakurai. Referee,
Okay, this is 5 minutes 3 round. No headbuttings, no other growings, don't graze ropes, okay? On the ground, don't kick his hand, okay? Free fight. Hold up.
That's Yuji Shimada and Mac Danzig.
Judge!
In the blue corner with the longer shorts, Sakurai with those traditional short black trunks. And here we go, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And Danzig says his fighting idol is Sakurai.
Wow, what a way to get to fight the guy that you've looked up to. And I'm familiar with that when I fought Dan Severn early on in my career. But I don't think Danzig's going to have much idol worship in this match.
No, Danzig's one of those really tough kids. He kind of had a real strange upbringing as he was coming up, and it made him really, really tough because he's just one of those guys that's self-sufficient. Unlike me, I always need a lot of strong people around me. Danzig's a guy that can survive on his own, and it shows up in his fight game. He really, really develops the game while he's in the fight.
Well, I've seen him in the gym over at Eric Paulson's OC Shoot Wrestling, and he's certainly a well-rounded individual. Called one of his matches for the LA Sub X, and he just took his opponent apart.
And Sakurai on the charge. Danzig's got to cover up, and I'm not sure he can. Sakurai Sakurai can be a human highlight film when it comes to MMA. He showed a flurry there.
Most certainly, in Sakurai, some people may not know this, but I used to train with a guy. He's about as mean as a badger with his tail in a light socket.
I don't think it was the knee as much as just the position that took Danzig down, and now he's got a deal. Now, no soccer kicks are allowed here in Las Vegas, so Sakurai couldn't do everything he might want to do in Japan. Back on the feet.
Danzig needs to watch for that explosiveness from Sakurai.
Spinning back fist.
Nice body shot. Good taking the wind out of Danzig.
Sakurai's a very patient fighter. He fights in flurries. He'll come after you real quick, and if he senses the pace needs to get a change, he'll slow things down on purpose to throw your game off.
Yeah, like I said earlier, great killer instinct. When he senses weakness, he just jumps on it.
And often in fighting and in any competition, it doesn't matter what you do as long as your opponent doesn't know it. And if you mix up your game in anything, you're going to have an advantage most of the time.
Danzig really wants to, I think he wants to really close the distance. He can do a clinch, a shot, anything to try and keep Sakurai off of him and not allow him to work in that dynamic range.
The one flaw that Danzig sometimes has is that he'll do 1 and 2 combinations over and over again. If he changes it up against a guy like Sakurai, he will keep him off balance. Hopefully he can adjust a little bit more right now, because even though Sakurai is backing up, he's still controlling the pace of the fight.
Yeah, sure enough, and you don't ever want your opponent to find your rhythm.
Isn't Danzig wanting to get this fight onto the ground, though, Frank?
Well, the thing is with Sakurai, even though he's such a strong stand-up guy, his ground game is really good as well. So he's a guy that even though you take him down, you may be blasting through him, he still has enough submission talent to keep you away.
But Danzig's got to go with his strongest card, though, doesn't he?
In some cases, yeah, but right now, because he's getting dominated so heavily on the feet, he needs to kind of turn the pace.
Nice turnover by Sakurai. Got to watch for the armbar here as Danzig's creeping up on that shoulder, looking for it. Sakurai also is very well versed in leg locks. One of his favorite techniques is the heel hook, which has found him a lot of success in grappling competitions.
Of course, that is one of our favorite. One of our commentators' favorite moves as well. Josh Burnett loves the leg locks as well.
I have no idea what to do with a foot when it lands there. I just look at it like a dog with his head cocked sideways. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yuji Shimada will pause the action, bring them away from the edge of the ring. They'll get back in that same position in the middle, give them more room to work. It is Maha Sakurai on top.
Gotta say, I'm enjoying this fight so far by watching how Danzig still staying in this fight, and even though he shouldn't be trying to trade blows with Sakurai, just willing to stand in there and see if he can get his off.
And one of the things too about Danzig is because he is kind of mentally tough, he'll hold you off, and when you get exhausted is when he'll explode on you. But sometimes he does take a little bit of punishment, and with a guy like Sakurai, if you give him a little bit of punishment, he'll keep tic-tacking you out, and all of a sudden you're completely gone.
Right, he sees a target, and he just keeps hitting it. He sees a weak spot, and he stays on it. Of course, like you're saying, hey, you trained at R1 gym, and you guys, you put them through the ringer and then make us go back out on the mat. They're going to be mentally tough, and they're going to be able to hang in the fight.
Part of the problem is too with Danzig is that he knows he is so mentally tough. Sometimes he'll put himself in bad positions on purpose to try to tough his way out of it. But if you notice how flexible he really is, that this is a position where when we used to practice together, this is something that he would catch me in. But a guy like Sakurai is so tough as well that if you keep him in this position, all you're doing is wasting energy. So.
Sure. He's got to be, and Danzig, he's got to understand the urgency of fighting these rounds. He can't sit there and just, well, you know, I'm okay, I'm not getting hurt, but you're losing at the same time.
You know, it's funny how some of the best trainers in the world, Eric Paulson, John Lewis, they all tell you the same thing. Each round is a mini fight into itself, so you have to win each round itself so you can win the entire fight.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that Sakurai does amazing. He purposely wins each round, and most of the time he has to finish you before the end of the second.
Sure enough. Oh, incredible judo hip toss. Ogoshi there by Sakurai.
Final 20 seconds of the round number 1, and now Sakurai trying to get the arm bar on Danzig.
Nice straight arm lock attempt, coming off of a double wrist lock, countered by Danzig. If Sakurai was to grab his own shoulder, he might be able to finish it.
Now he let it go. Final seconds of the first round. A very active one for Sakurai, but a younger fighter than Danzig, less mature, might have panicked early on, but indeed he did hang in there with Sakurai, though as you mentioned, of the fighting within a fight there, Sakurai won that first fight.
Yeah, see, the thing with Sakurai is that he's very smart, he's very intelligent as a person, and he translates that into the fight game. So when he's doing the rounds, as he's going through, if you hit him once, he wants to tap you back twice. He doesn't really mind if you really catch him with something heavy. He's not going to try and get that heavy payback. He'll tap you back 3 or 4 times nice and light, which throws your game off. because you figure guys can come back strong, you'll counter and beat him up. You just can't do that with Sakurai. So it's going to be an interesting game right now.
As you see, Frank Trigg back with us. Congratulations. None the worse for wear after your victory. Let's look at some action from that first round. Sakurai very active in the early seconds.
Flurrying hard on Danzig, going upstairs, downstairs, picking all of the targets that come in front of him. You're right about Sakurai. You know what? The way I describe him after training with him is the guy don't forget. And you know what? He's vengeful. He's going to get his back.
And that's the thing that really makes him effective. And people underrate him quite a bit, Sakurai, because he is has a nice demeanor about him.
Sure.
That they don't think he's going to be that mean when you fight him. And he really is a mean.
He is mean as heck.
Oh, it's really fun. And although it was my first loss, I still enjoy that fight so much because it was like, wow, great trip. Is that he is such a tough guy, even though he has such a nice demeanor about him.
Working the top wrist lock there, Sakurai. I don't know if Danzig is going to be the kind of guy to let a basic submission like that end his night, but there's a lot of opportunities that can come off of that.
Keep working, man. Get up.
Rolling up on his shoulders, Danzig looks like he's thinking to go for the arm lock. Sakurai raining some punches down instead to see if Danzig might want to change his mind.
Sakurai says, let's bring it up one more time. And he's going to try to beat Danzig on the feet. He's starting to use the leg kicks. We saw that in the first round. Sakurai is.
Sakurai not coming on a strong. Nice counter left hook.
Danzig's dropping his right hand a little bit. It's getting Sakurai in position to start taking him out.
With a guy like Matt Hume in the corner, I'm sure he's giving Sakurai good advice to land that shot. Danzig coming in, looking for the uppercut, sensing that Sakurai's dropping his head.
Wow, and Danzig just ran into a stiff left arm of Sakurai. Sakurai looks like he's taking a little breather right now, too.
He does look very relaxed, maybe a little too relaxed, as Danzig is the kind of guy to just get right in your face like he's been doing.
Boy, but that left hand just striking Danzig at will. But Danzig comes right after him. He's a tough kid.
Remember, one of the criteria in Nevada Commission is controlling the center of the ring. If Danzig keeps backing Sakurai up, it's at least going to score 1 point in his favor. So if there's a couple of flurries, Danzig could steal around if he keeps the pace up like this.
Where does he get his toughness? He's taking those strikes and keeps moving right on in, does Danzig.
I got to be honest with you. I'd like to say it's from training with us and going out and training with other guys, but he had it when he came to us. So I really have no idea. Just his mental toughness has got to be in his DNA.
Sure enough. And, you know, interestingly enough, as he takes a jab from Sakurai there and throws a middle kick of his own there, he seems to be getting more confident as the fight goes on, even though he's getting into bad shots, getting into bad spots, taking shots from Sakurai and sort of getting picked apart.
And Sakurai is just laying back. He's almost taking in the information, saying, Danzig, bring me what you have, and I'll take it.
The one thing I really like about Sakurai, and it's the thing that I try to learn from him, is that he's such a loose fighter. As you see, he's snapping his punches still. When he gets hit, he kind of floats him off. And really nothing ever bothers him. And I'm a really tight, intense kind of fire plug fighter. I get really exhausted very fast. Sakurai, the reason why he beat me is because he maintains his pace you see he's doing right now. He's very relaxed.
Stayed loose. And he's landing great low kicks in addition to those peppering shots. And you'd think that Sakurai might want to go back to landing that low kick after a couple of hands.
Is Sakurai giving Danzig a false sense of security here in this early middle minutes here of the second round?
From having fought one of them and training with the other one for a long period of time, I have to say yes. Because he really is explosive. He can catch you with anything when he chooses to.
Sakurai checking that low kick, coming back with one of his own, and practically sweeping Danzig off the feet.
He's done that a couple of times. Danzig will start to feel that, and now does Sakurai want to flip the switch? Not yet. A very entertaining fighter, and
another left hand right low.
Great leg kicks coming into play, and ever so slightly, Danzig starting to favor that left leg.
Now, if you notice how Sakurai's going upstairs, downstairs, it's kind of like a boxer would go to your head to your body. He gets to use his feet too, so he punches him to the head and kicks to the legs. It throws you off really bad. And as this fight gets longer and longer, Matt's going to start slowing down because he's not going to have any front leg kicks.
More huge kicks to that leg, and underneath his shorts, Danzig's legs starting to get red and swell.
Well, you know that Sakurai here, he's seen an opening. He's seen an area that Danzig is not adjusting for. So those low kicks are going to...
Oh my God! Oh no! He got cracked! Oh no!
Fight is over in an instant. Like you said, Trigg, he explodes, and bam, dynamite all over Danzig's chin.
Danzig is back up, but he lost the fight on a looping right hand from Maha Sakurai.
Wow. you know, really for you guys, I'm sorry Josh interrupted you, for those guys that are new to the sport, you have to understand how important it is to be relaxed in your technique. I've watched Josh Barnett, my co-host, tonight, really train and fight a lot. That's one of the things he does. No matter what position you're in, you stay calm and relaxed. The same thing Sakurai just did tonight, and that's what catches him.
But on the other hand, just like you, Trigg, bam, when you see the opportunity, you explode, you hit that double, and you put the guy down no matter how tired you may be, whether you're wobbled or cut or hurt. When you see your chance, you go through it just like a sprinter coming out of the blocks. And that punch from Sakurai, same punch that put Olaf Alfonso in the dirt 6 feet under.
You know, and that is, it's incredible because Sakurai's power, it seems like the way he throws and how he does stuff, but it really doesn't function. And you know, that knockout came at 4-1, and it is amazing how he really can step forward without even looking like he's being aggressive.
Right.
He lulls you to sleep.
It doesn't even look like he's trying that hard.
So, Maha Sakurai with a very slow start to the second round, taking that information, watching what Danzig does, and then Danzig moved in, and Sakurai moved in for the kill and won the fight.
Haritonov versus Mike Russo.
And now for the sixth match. In the blue corner, Mike Russo. From the United States of America,
Russo from Chicago, Illinois, a police officer in that town, chasing down bad guys day after day after day, and now he's going to try to chase down the Russian Sergei Haritonov tonight. Russo, the word is around here, could be one of the men destined to upset his opponent.
Well, he's a Division I wrestler, four-time All-American, and really, Haritonov has shown a weakness from working off his back, which is really where he's lost both of his last two big fights, getting stuck on his back and taking punishment from the top. You know, this is interesting also for the fact that you got Russo, the police officer, fighting the Russian paratroopers, special forces. Sort of an armed conflict.
I think it could be an offshoot for Pride, huh?
No, just for my personal sake, I'm a little nationalistic, so I like to go with I'm gonna go with the American police officer. That's just how I feel about it.
And that has nothing to do with what happened to you in Russia with the officials, huh?
Nothing at all. Plus, not to mention, my fiance is from Chicago, and if I pick anything but Chicago in this fight, I'm gonna get beat up when I get home.
Okay.
In the red corner, Sergey Haritonov.
Fighter weighs in at 242 pounds, and he still gives up 13 pounds to Russo. And this paramilitary parachutist from Russia has heavy hands, a great ground and pound game, as you saw in the highlights. He's taken out a guy named Semi Schilt.
Semi Schilt is a guy I've had some experience with, and he is an incredibly tough fighter. His fists are as big as, it's like getting hit with rocks when he hits you. And Haritonov played smart, took him down, pinned him up, and just went to town on his face. You know, Haritonov may be bad off his back, but on top, he's absolutely deadly.
Haritonov and Russo.
In the blue corner, standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing 255 pounds, from the United States of America, Mike Russo. In the red corner, standing 6 feet 4 inches, weighing 242 pounds, from Russia.
Talk to you guys in the locker room. I want you guys to do a clean fight. Fight hard, obey all my orders, okay? Let's go. Good luck.
Mario Yamasaki, the referee in charge. There is Russo going against Haritonov.
Haritonov.
Good. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Come on!
It is Haritonov with the black knee bands. Both fighters wearing black trunks.
Haritonov is quite a big man, actually, even if he is giving up weight. And also, with this size, he's got reach.
Did you hear that left leg kick he just landed on Russo's knee? Wow.
Well, it's pretty obvious Russo doesn't want any part of the standing. Nice inside trip by Haritonov to get back on top.
Yeah.
Russo still staying strong, going to the single, to the body lock, and now space favors Haritonov.
Russo doesn't want to trade punches with this guy, but he does have power. It's just that Russo hasn't been at it that long with a stand-up.
But you guys, what you're seeing here too, guys, you have to remember is that these guys are heavyweights, and most Americans are used to seeing heavyweights that are slow and lethargic. These guys are extremely, very, very athletic, and Haritonov actually has the advantage of the athletic ability because he moves so much quicker, even though, like you said, Josh, he's giving up a little bit of weight.
Right, exactly. Haritonov's a good physical specimen, not to mention he's got great trainers like Volkane, Iluyuki Misha, well-versed in sambo and submission, favoring the leg lock game.
What an evolution of the heavyweights in MMA we've seen. As you mentioned, a lot of people see them as slow, lumbering, but through the years, it has just been Darwin's theory at work, where you see the best and the best coming to the fore. They're like linebackers now in the NFL, where they're just so quick and strong.
Well, look at some of the best heavyweights in the world. You look at, oh wow, great straight right.
So, yeah.
You look at like Barnett, of course, you look at a guy like Fedor Emelianenko. These guys are incredibly quick. Fast hands.
And now Russo trying to get on top. He was a Division I wrestler in Eastern Illinois.
Smart move by Russo to go for the pass instead of being content to hang in the guard. Caught the low kick and tripped him by picking the heel up. Haritonov now working basically from what I said before is his worst position.
Yeah, this is really Sergey's gonna have a hard time in this position. He always does traditionally. Now, may have worked on in his last training camp. But traditionally, he has a really tough time in here. As I was just saying before he went to the ground, how quick the heavyweights are, and you saw that Russo caught that leg kick and dropped him down.
Well, Haritonov coming in with a chip on his shoulder after losses to Alexander Emelianenko and Alistair Overeem. He needs a win.
Well, surprisingly, Russo has not been content to, he's not looking for a ground and pound attack. Maybe he is now with his mount, but he was looking for the top wrist lock in the armbar earlier. I think he wants the submission.
Oh, he's looking for the neck right now. One of the problems that Russo's trainer says that their man has it, he's used to Division I wrestling where you get back points, you're scoring points. He doesn't finish the action when he gets on top. He's got to do that tonight.
Rolling out, trying to take the single to recover from his bad position there, putting Haritonov back onto his hip. Russo needs to circle towards the head and put Haritonov back onto his back and work that tight submission game. Double wrist locks, top wrist locks, moves that are not going to put him in a bad position.
Frank, were you leading that USA chair behind us?
You know, and that's one of the things that I kind of like about when we're here in Vegas is that there's a lot more USA chants because, of course, wrestling as much as I. Oh my gosh!
Nice thump off the single leg there.
That was very familiar. We get to see that a lot in Division I wrestling, and of course, Russo is actually going back to his roots again. But you know, getting back to the USA chant, it's one of the things I kind of like when we're here in town, when we're here in Las Vegas, is that people really do get behind their athletes by their national origin. It's kind of something you don't see very much in other countries outside the U.S., but here we get a lot of it. And it actually, for me, it's a comforting feeling.
Well, you know, in Brazil, though, you might get stabbed over being something else. They get pretty upset when you go against the grain. Well, nice armbar by Haritonov, but Russo's got his elbow outer looks. He's still staying in there. Oh, bad move by Russo.
It's it.
Is that it?
Russo had the opportunity to get that arm free.
Oh, an arm bar from the bottom. It was great positioning by Haritonov.
No, he's tapping out in tap.
He looked like he was tapping to me, and most certainly, he looked like he fell asleep down there getting that arm, letting it hang in there for Haritonov to jump on it.
Wow, what a turnaround. Russo said he was fine, but Mario Yamasaki, the referee, saw some movement from Russo that indicated tap.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw Russo's hand on the leg tapping.
Well, Yamasaki's not going to call this for no reason. Let's see if we can find it.
That looks like a tap to me. Yep. You know what? That's just poor sportsmanship. And, you know, honestly, I'd like to see the fight restarted and watch him get knocked out, sit on the floor, blood coming out of his mouth. Maybe then he'd be happy.
I really believe that was a tap, Josh. I gotta tell you what, and I agree with you that once you tap, the fight's done. He taps out 3:46 of the round, and really, you have to understand that once you tap, be the man. Hey, look, I got beat. It's okay. It's not the end of your life.
Right, exactly.
Tonight.
You know, if he's got such a problem with having the loss, why don't they go? He can go try and finish it up backstage. Of course, you know what's going to happen is not much different from what happened tonight.
Exactly.
So the controversy created only in Russo's camp. We saw the tap. Yamasaki saw the tap. Sergei Haritonov gets the win he so desperately needed. Let's take one more look just to verify.
Russo looking like he could get that elbow free, but there he is, tapping clearly as his elbow is getting hyperextended, grimacing in pain. You know what? I don't know what this guy's thinking. It's really disgraceful.
Let's give Russo the benefit of the doubt, and maybe he was complaining because Mario was trying to stop the fight, and Sergei held on to it and held on a little bit longer than most guys would have. So
you know what?
He's complaining because he got held into it too long.
That's an avenue I hadn't thought of, and you know what, Frank? That could be it, and honestly, I hope that is the situation.
Maurício Shogun one of the young guns from the Shootbox Academy. When you least expect it, he attacks. Winner of the 2005 Grand Prix Middleweight Tournament. His first match in the U.S., he stole their hearts. Shogun returns to the United States. The Invincible Man. The Demolition Man. Alistair Overeem. He'll beat you down. He'll hammer you in. He'll choke you out. Overeem has fought the best. His front choke can end any fight. They fought once before. Alistair's bound to avenge that loss. Maurício Shogun versus Alistair Overeem.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a sevens match. In the blue corner, Alistair Overeem.
Alistair Overeem, 6'5", 205 from Holland. And there's a few tough fighters that come out of that territory.
I think you've probably called a few fights on those guys. Alistair here, great kickboxing background, trains with, God, the name escapes me right now, but the guy's an incredible trainer. He's worked with the best in the business, but you know, also, he's not just a one-dimensional fighter with kickboxing. He's got a great front choke that has put away a lot of top competitors, not only in the MMA ring, but in the grappling arena as well. Lucien Carbet, that's his trainer, Lucien Carbet.
And the thing about Overeem too is you have to understand he uses his length very well, but it's surprising. He uses length inside. He doesn't keep you outside of the distance. He likes to use all of his length inside the clinch game. He's a traditional kickboxer. And when I first started calling fights with him, it's very difficult to watch it because like, he's so tall, what's he doing? And I started talking to him a little bit. He said because he's so long from hip to knee, you actually have a guy inside, and his hip to knee is longer than most guys' shoulder to fist.
Sure enough, he's a real proponent of length over girth.
And in the red corner, Maurício Shogun
Silva getting taped up by the best.
Could be a huge star in the United States for Pride. Shogun Hua. He is young. He's good looking. He did a little modeling himself, but he is one tremendous fighter.
You know, I did happen to get his number earlier, Lon.
Wow.
A lot of power.
Maybe I should go back to the locker room. I think you two sound like you want to get together a little closer.
Well, you know, I'm a very confident man, I can tell you that.
This is true. This is true.
But Shogun is an exciting fighter, and when people get a look at him and get used to him, they are going to love what they see in the ring.
I agree. And you know what, both of these guys, one of their outstanding attributes is they're very dynamic fighters. Very dynamic. You know, they're all over the place in the ring. And, you know, Silva, Hua's fight style, I call it controlled chaos.
The seventh match, fighting in the blue corner, is that 6 feet 5 inches, weighing in at 205 pounds, from Netherlands, Alistair Overeem. And fighting in the red corner, standing 6 feet, he weighed in at 205 pounds. From Brazil, Maurício Silva. Referee Sakurai.
You know the rules. We all expect a good, clean, fair fight. Watch your knees and kicks to a grounded opponent to the head, all right? Obey my commands, protect yourself at all times, come out ready to fight. Hook them up. Good luck.
Steve Mazzagatti in charge, Overeem and Shogun ready to go.
All right, are we ready? Bring it on!
In the orange trunks, the color of his country, Alistair Overeem taking on Shogun in the black.
Watch for those overhand punches from Shogun, not to mention a dynamic kicking game. I think he may even have a background either Kyokushin or Taekwondo from Brazil.
Sometimes some of his punching and striking is almost gymnastic-like, the way you watch him spin and get into a lot of his positions. Who is very explosive, but on the other end, very strict, very tight Overeem, also is very long and very athletic as well, just using the exact same thing, just a different way of getting to it.
Yeah, more in the pocket, more straightforward.
And this is a position where, as you mentioned, you would think they'd have Overeem at an advantage, but he can use those knees in tight, and he will use them liberally.
Yeah, the clinch is going to be a great position for Overeem as long as he doesn't allow Shogun to close that distance and take him down with one of his dynamic throws or trips. Nice catch on the kick from Overeem, and smart not to follow him down.
You do not want to be on the ground. This guy Overeem says, I've got no interest in the ground game tonight. He's going to be forced down there, I would imagine, sooner or later, but if he can keep it on the feet, the longer the better.
Nice inside low kick. Now into the clinch. Overeem looking to land some easy. You see how he gets his hand and his palms facing against Hua's delt there earlier. He wants to create that space, and by using his hands flat against there, he's going to push off and get out of that clinch.
A great job. Push his head down and away, straighten on the way up.
Overeem getting busy with those gloves. That's what he needs to do. But his bread and butter are those knees. They both miss on those haymakers, and a good left by Overeem.
Great head movement by Overeem, though ending up in the clinch here, following with a punch. Hua, as you can see, just trying to get anything going. He doesn't care where they end up, just as long as they land in a position that he can rally into a better spot from.
He's got to hang on to that arm of Overeem, or Overeem just going to stand up.
Working the double wrist lock there, Shogun, but Overeem, a very strong fighter indeed. He's probably seen this position before, but he's got to be careful still. He's not out of danger yet. Hua also looking to either reverse him, or as he bring that leg up over, isolate the arm.
If you notice, you can see how strong that Overeem is, because right now in this position, it's basically strength that's holding that arm in right now. Hua's in a very good position to pull that thing out and come in as it slips out. He's in a very good position to finish that arm up, but you know, Alistair is so strong, he can keep everything in on the inside.
And look at him spread, too. A great wrestler pose right there.
He is, and you know, the thing about Alistair from that last position, the farther your hands are away from your body, the weaker they're going to be, and Shogun let his arms get too far from his body.
Overeem got exactly what he wanted out of it.
Nice hooks, nice straight right by Shogun, not landing, but still driving forward, just trying to get that single, putting Overeem on his butt, and is apparently exactly where he wanted him to be.
Here comes Hua. This is what I love about MMA. You've got these two divergent styles clashing here.
This is where Hua wanted to put this fight, because he knew that Overeem's going to beat him on the length. Oh, great overhand sweat coming down to the canvas.
Hua gets his fight now where he wants it, on the canvas with Overeem on his back. But as you mentioned, Alistair very strong, trying to quell those punches.
Picking his shots, landing once for the up kick again from Alistair, I'm sure. Hua's going to dive right in with another big punch.
What an incredible overhand right. He jumped right into it, picked his hands apart, and dropped right into it.
Right on the button.
With every ounce of muscle that Hua had, he wound up and delivered an overhand right that cleared everything that Overeem had in his mind. He went totally blank. The fight is over.
That punch was not fast, it was sudden.
What an incredible knockout at 337 of the first round. Hua is incredible. He's so athletic, he's so strong. It's amazing to see what he actually can pull off from out of such a taller opponent. He had a dive, almost jump into that to hit him in an overhead.
Right, you know, watch him here. You think most people, this would be a wild punch with Hua. It was laser accurate, hitting him right on the chin and finishing up with a flurry to end this match.
So much more devastating than a punch standing up. You've got all that power, you've got gravity, you've got the mat behind your head that allows no leverage whatsoever, and just a finishing blow unlike we've seen tonight.
What a complete combination. Bam! Rosie lands right into a guard pass, so even if he didn't knock Overeem out, he was in better position, and just well executed on Shogun's part.
Shogun with the big victory. You see close up exactly what Overeem felt.
Now you can see the position here. You saw how his hands were out away from his face. When you have a guy on top of you that's so explosive, so strong, you have to keep your hands just like you're on your feet. If you have your hands by your shoulders, you're going to get picked apart like you just did.
Exactly. You got to keep your hands up at all times. You see that punch coming? And Overeem didn't move his head at all. But head movement is not just for the standing game. You need head movement off your back too.
Absolutely. It's very important at all times to move your head, move and keep your hands close to your face, because that really is one of the most devastating knockouts you can have, and it's on the ground as opposed to being on your feet.
Exactly. And I think all you had to do is move your head 2 inches to the left.
And about 3.5 minutes of round number 1. A budding star in the U.S. MMA world. Maurício Shogun Hua with the victory, and Alistair Overeem just got on to his feet.
Maurício Shogun Hua. Give it up for Shoot the Box in the house, America. Shogun, the second time around, how much sweeter is it? You're beating the same way. How do you feel second time in America? How does it feel for you, man?
I love America.
And I believe America loves you, man.
I can see why.
Boa noite a todos. Queria agradecer a Deus, primeiramente, por mais uma vitória. Ao mestre Rafael Cordeiro, o meu irmão. Eu tô aqui graças a eles me ensinaram tudo que eu sei. Então, com certeza, essa vitória é para eles. Eu acho que isso é o mínimo que posso fazer para eles.
Okay, first thing, I want to say thanks to God for supporting me, and say thanks to my master Rafael Cordeiro and my brother Ninja. And these guys show me everything I know for show you guys tonight.
E também queria dizer que a chute box, quando ela entra, a gente entra para vencer. A gente coloca o espírito de samurai e vamos para a guerra. A gente pensa em mostrar grande show para todos vocês.
All the time the shooter box guys coming to the ring, coming to the war, and put the samurai soul and come to beating everybody.
Give it up for Maurício Shogun Hua, Las Vegas. Congratulations.
Viva Brazil. That was a punch no one could recover from. Maurício Shogun Hua, your winner here in Vegas.
Centuries of tradition. Generations of masters. A new age of samurai. Pride Fighting's lightweight champion, Takanori Gomi. Dominant lightweight fighter in the world. With his fireball fists, the rascal will set you on fire. The people's champion from Japan. Takanori, the Rascal Gomi's U.S. debut.
MMA 発祥の地で UFC のチャンピオンサンビエル、マット・ヒューズ、BJ10 トップ選手と戦っていきたいですね。
Rascal vs. Road. Recently from the UFC, Diaz has a 14-6 professional record.
To fight in pride for me, it means more than anything for me to fight in pride and showcase my skills in front of the world. You know, if he doesn't take me seriously, then he's just going to lose quicker.
どこの選手もいますよね。
Stay in his face, get in his face the whole time, you know. Tell him I'm going to beat him because I'm going to beat him.
まあ一番抜けよう。
Nick Diaz taking on Takanori Gomi.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for Pride 33, the second coming, 8th match. In the blue corner, Nick Diaz.
Nick Diaz from Central California in his Pride debut, but he's no stranger to the goings-on of MMA. He is one tough cookie.
Incredibly hard to finish. I don't know when the last time, in fact, I'm not sure if Nick has ever been finished in a fight.
To my knowledge, Josh, I have to tell you, I don't think he has either. And the thing is with Nick also is that not only is it's obviously difficult to finish him, but he's one of those guys that's hard to rock him as well. It's hard to get him moved. You can't hit him very hard. It's really hard to get him out of his game. He will slow things down to his own pace if he needs to maintain it. As you can see from the picture in front of you, he's also a very angry individual.
Entering to the song Get Out of My Way from La Costa Nostra, Nick Diaz showing some attitude. making his Pride U.S. debut. He's a big star in Japan. He loves to fight at home, but now with Pride in the U.S., he's got to prove he can be a road warrior as well.
Certainly kind of carries a reputation as being the Japanese bad boy of his weight class and kind of all Japanese MMA. But he's got deadly hands and fireballs coming out of his fist and put a lot of his opponents on the mat.
His one downfall is he has a hard time on the ground. He still isn't as well versed as some of his opponents on the ground yet. But the problem is getting him to the ground because he hits you so hard. If Nick can get him on the ground, Nick can finish his fight very, very quickly. But it's going to be difficult because Takanori Gomi spent so much time now in defense of the takedown.
In the blue corner, standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing 161 pounds, from the United States of America, Nick Diaz. In the red corner, standing 5 feet 9 inches, weighing 161 pounds, from Japan, Takanori.
Okay, this match, 5 minutes, 3 rounds. No headbutt, no low blowing. Ground position, no kicking and no knee attacking above the leg. Don't stomping, okay? Clean fight, clean fight. Check out.
Referee Daisuke Noguchi with the final instructions in a battle that could be a main event on many cards. Gomi and Diaz.
Judge, ready, fight!
Diaz in the black trunks, Gomi, the superstar in the white and red, immediately goes for the takedown.
Surprisingly, I expected Gomi to sort of try and line up his opponent for one of those line drive shots. Diaz working the double wrist lock, makes a mistake. Gomi almost goes right to the armbar counter. Now staying on top, raining down punches. Diaz looking to work his guard and try and find some leeway for a submission.
Gomi needs a breath. Diaz needs a breath of air here. Gomi like a blanket all over him.
Diaz finally get that little break that he needed because Gomi wants to bring it back to his feet.
Nice pass by Gomi, coming behind the right hand, showing one and following with the other. Again, same tactic.
Well, Diaz did not expect this. He is in immediate hot water.
Diaz has to make an immediate adjustment. He's got to start moving. Right now, you see he's not moving his hips at all. He's just content to stay as he gets repositioned in the center ring. He's just content to lay on his back. He can't do that with a guy like Gomi.
He's being reactionary. He's being reactionary.
Exactly. He can't do that with a guy like Gomi. You have to get him off his offense.
Well, Diaz is going to have to work to get out of this spot of bother. He has been wanting to get into Pride for so long and prove that he belongs in this upper echelon of fighters. And I guess if he can extricate himself and win this fight, he'll prove a lot of people wrong.
Diaz there working the closed guard makes me think that what he wants is he's going to pepper Gomi to get him to lift his head and then work some sort of armbar triangle like he's crawling up right there, getting his hips up. Good opportunity for both either an armbar or a triangle, but Gomi posturing high, staying strong, and getting out of bad position.
You have to remember too that Diaz is such a tall fighter that even though Gomi's sitting up, if he moves his head a little bit, he won't take as much punishment. He's taller than I am at 160 than I am at 183.
5 inches difference. Diaz at 6'1", Gomi at 5'8", back on their feet.
Gomi the southpaw. Let's see if Diaz is going to start staying outside the lead leg and throwing the straight hand. Well, actually, my mistake.
Good hand by Diaz. Gomi continues on, but he's getting hurt.
He's got to survive. Diaz has got to survive here. He's got to tie him up and keep him getting stung some more.
Gomi wins the battle on the feet, stuns Diaz, and now trying to finish off the Californian on the mat.
Nice pass by Gomi, staying behind, not looking to put hooks in, just punish his opponent. You know, this is a good position for Gomi. He needs to capitalize on that because on the feet, while he did knock him down, Diaz is the much more accurate and controlled fighter. Going again for the double wrist lock, looking for an armbar, but it can't even come close this time.
Gomi swings and misses there, and Diaz is lucky he did.
There's a lot of trouble, as you see him on top of the Rockstar logo. And that you have to understand, as a fighter, you're looking for the perfect spot to finish a guy. And right over there in that corner, as they restart him on the feet, middle in that corner. It's very tacky. It's a very sticky mat there, so Diaz from moving as much.
Sure enough, Gomi needs to watch out for that distance, and Diaz being very nice and controlled, peppering and landing very accurate shots, trying to avoid the bombs. Gomi got definitely a power fighter.
Bombs going both ways, Josh and Frank.
Oh, good stepping by Nick. He was getting a little bit of trouble. He stepped in, now he's going to body lock and slow Gomi down a little bit.
Diaz needs to break off of this attack. Look, it's just a complete slobber knocker out there.
What an amazing first round. People expected it to be something special, and it is. Oh, Gomi, is he fading? Is he just playing possum against the ropes?
Taking shots on the chin. Diaz putting him down there, wobbling him.
Gomi's hands down by his side. Diaz punching at will.
That knee looked a little low, but Diaz really picking his opponent apart.
Gomi's hands just dropped. Diaz has full reign over that head. And now Gomi comes back. 1 minute to go in the first round.
Gomi letting,
he's not hitting him hard. That's the problem, is that Gomi's not getting hit hard enough to make him put his hands up.
Oh, I'm waiting for Gomi to snap.
He's not as pretty as Mayweather here, but if he can land that shot again and put Diaz down, he can get right back in this fight. Oh, nice hooks by Gomi. Uppercut by Diaz. They're just crushing each other.
Where are Gomi's hands? Where's his defense?
Hand on the rope, looking fatigued, taking more shots behind the ear.
Diaz could step back and take a roundhouse kick to the head and be wide open there.
Yeah, I agree. Diaz has a decent kicking game. He should look to that. Gomi looking just for that bomb from left field.
Oh, just about 10 seconds to go. What is this Gomi's doing here?
He's exhausted.
Feet. Referee Noguchi looking in.
Gomi's exhausted. Gomi's exhausted. He's having a real tough time getting his breath back. It's going to be very interesting to see if he's got enough shape to recover in the time to 3 rounds.
You know what? His arms look like they're dead weight out there. At the end of that round, he whipped so hard. It was like, man, it was like when the Clippers were on that huge losing streak.
Oh, Gomi.
Nothing but an air balls.
Gomi cut Diaz to a deep cut over the left eye. But let's take a look. I mean, there were so many highlights from round one.
As you can see here, Diaz is starting to pick him apart. Gomi's just hitting big haymakers, but Nick is such a tough kid. He's starting to weather him. Early, Gomi didn't think Diaz was hitting him hard. Now watch out. You'll see here in a second. There's the kick. That kept Gomi honest now. It's to realize that Nick's going to use his feet. Comes back with that heavy right hand. It's incredible.
Oh, just an amazing first round that swung 180 degrees. When we thought Gomi had control, Diaz finished, almost winning the fight in the final seconds.
Now, the one thing I really like about Diaz right now is he's using his long length to stay just outside Gomi's punches, but just inside his distance.
Very calm and very smart on Diaz's part.
All right, in the red corner, you see Takanori. Gomi in trouble, in some distress, and why not? Diaz has to be full of fire beginning the second round.
See, this is the thing about Diaz. He loves to fight. Fighting is in his spirit and his soul. He loves a battle like this.
You know, Diaz, he'll take him, he'll give him. He just loves being out there, blood running down his face in the heat of battle.
And this is exactly where he wants Gomi. He didn't have time to finish him in round one, but with only a minute between rounds, Gomi's still hurting, still in trouble. Diaz has over 4.5 minutes now to finish him.
He's Gomi looking like a wet rag out there. Tired, still landing heavy shots though. Diaz got to make sure he doesn't get overconfident.
That's my question there. You're right.
As you notice, as soon as he got hit really hard and felt himself get a little dangerous, stepped in for that bear hug.
Oh, look at the blood running off the
You know, Diaz is in a great position to hit the German suplex here and maybe put Gomi on his back, which has been a real obstacle in his career and where he's lost his fight.
They are going to halt for a moment and check the cut. You saw the blood of Diaz running down the arm of Gomi.
Now here's the question for you. As a fighter, Josh, you're beating the guy up, okay, and then you get cut and you have to stop the fight for a cut even though you're winning the fight. I mean, it is bad. Gomi gets all over his back. Diaz is all over his body.
Right. Here's what's going to happen. Diaz is going to come out like a man possessed. He's going to try and put this fight down and over.
Oh, gee, that knee just is what forced Nick to step in as you come back into live action right now. Look at the cut on Nick's underneath his right eye.
But it's under the eye. If he can stay on his feet, he'll be okay.
Exactly, but you know, I'm worried about that swelling and blocking his vision.
Well, both eyes are cut, one over, one under, and so Diaz has to work quickly, like you mentioned, Frank, or he'll be blind.
And once your eyes start to swell shut, the rest get to step in for fighter safety to stop it.
And Gomi is trying to signal the referee, Daisuke Noguchi, that I can't fight this guy. He's hurt too badly.
Well, if that's the case, then Gomi needs to step inside and start banging him out.
Yeah.
Prove he doesn't need to fight anymore.
Exactly. Put him down. If you think this fight should be over, then finish it. And Gomi, you know what? Line up that left overhand, that left hook. He can't see it coming. Nice double.
That's what Gomi wanted.
Oh, Scott, great to give him applause. See how flexible Nick Diaz is? He's got Gomi in a whole world of trouble right here. He can finish him right now.
Now he's going to kick.
He's taking out that shit.
That is it. Nick Diaz has defeated.
What a come from behind. Threw himself right into bad position. Diaz locked that leg over, locked him in. It was snapped shut, and that fight was over for Takanori Gomi.
Nick Diaz has just proved he deserves to be not only in Pride Fighting Championships, but ranked as one of the best 163-pounders in the world. One of the best lightweights now. He needs to be put in the top 5. He is absolutely was getting beat, came back, forced his will upon Takanori Gomi and beat him.
Well, you know, my question here is, did Gomi train hard enough for this fight? Did he take this fight too lightly?
He did not look like he did, Josh. We mentioned it. Now here's round 2. Oh, what an amazing fight.
Great double leg takedown by Gomi. I'm very impressed with the shot, but look how quickly Nick gets his leg over his face to put him into a go-go plata. Starts squeezing down, as you can tell, he's pushing his shin up into his throat and pulling his head down into his leg.
Incredible transition.
What a mental lapse by Gomi to get himself in that position.
What a recover by Diaz to roll right through. Knew that it was coming. Laid it right in there, and at that point, Diaz was just looking for the finish. Once that leg came over, he knew he had this fight secured.
We've always said, you know, that one of the biggest problems, and Josh and I have this conversation all the time, that Gomi, as you see him, as you saw him tap right there, he's always had a problem on the ground. He hasn't developed enough game on the ground.
Exactly. He just tries to, he's used to overwhelming his guys, bombing on them from, you know, all the way out in Hiroshima, knocking guys down, staying on them, never giving them a chance to think. But a guy like Diaz, he just hung in there and said, you know what, my time's going to come. My time is going to come. And you know what, Gomi got sloppy, as he usually does, except this time, Diaz was staying sharp and capitalized on it.
Let's go up and hear from Nick Diaz from Jerry Millen.
All right, that's what Pride Fighting Championships is all about right there. Give it up for these two warriors, man. That's why Pride is the #1 mixed martial arts organization in the world. Believe that. We're going to get in here with Nick Diaz in just a second. Hold on.
They are working on Nick Diaz, and you see that, the result of that knee strike from Gomi.
Now, one of the things that Pride does, we have the best doctors.
All right, Nick's ready.
All right, Nick. You said you always wanted to fight in Pride Fighting Championships. You are finally here, and brother, you just kicked some ass.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to fight here for a long time. I've been looking forward to fight Takanori Gomi for a long time. I'm very impressed with the way he fights. I want to thank Cesar Gracie. He's my coach, my teacher, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I want to thank my cornerman, Vic and Randy Spence, and all my sponsors, Chase Chevrolet.
Let's take you to the big screen here, Nick. We're in the first round when Gomi hit you and knocked you down. Can you walk us through this on the big screen?
Yeah, I didn't even realize I went down.
Yeah, you fought your way back, brother.
Yeah, I felt comfortable once I got in there a minute or so, or however long this, 30 seconds or so into the fight, I started feeling like I knew where I was. Yeah.
You just kept coming, man. Where did you find? I mean, you just kept coming. Where did you find that strength at?
I've been fighting for a long time from Stockton. I want to thank Chase Chevrolet, I want to thank Philip Torres and
Pride.
I want to thank Pride Fighting Championships for having me. Thank you.
All right. Who's next for Nick Diaz? You just beat the Pride lightweight champion. Who do you want next?
I'll fight anybody in the welterweight division. I'm ready to fight everybody.
All right, congratulations, great fight, Nick Diaz.
So Nick Diaz shocking himself, shocking the fight world. He didn't take the title. That was not a title fight. But Gomi goes away as a champion, but a loser to Nick Diaz.
Wanderlei Silva. Has held the belt for 6 years. King of kings in the middleweight of the world with killer knees.
Lutas mais emocionantes, os jogadores com mais nome. Então eu acho que, sem dúvida nenhuma, o Pride em breve vai superar o UFC também nos Estados Unidos.
The cage is his world. Tonight, Pride is the universe. The ideal American. The American challenger, Dan Henderson. He is the wrestling Olympian of the USA. Pride welterweight champion. He aims to be the next middleweight champion. This cowboy's coup de grace is his atomic fist. The hometown hero confronts the king of fierce cockness.
February 24th, I'll be ready. I'm sure I'll be ready. As far as I'm concerned, this is the most important fight of my career.
The final conflict begins.
It's going to be war. I'm going to have to
Silva versus Dan Henderson.
Ladies and gentlemen, now time for night's match as Pride Middleweight Championships. And the blue corner, Dan Henderson.
Henderson, the Pride welterweight title holder, trying to make it a double belt for him.
Yes, he is, coming out to what sounded like an artillery barrage there. Maybe some sort of precursor to that right hand that Dan Henderson possesses. They've been known to hit like a howitzer on a few guys' faces.
Now, when these guys fought 6 years ago, it was an epic battle. Henderson has gotten so much better with his hand game now. He doesn't use it just to knock you out. He uses it to loop you, step inside for a body lock, and throw your Greco-Roman style to the canvas and knock you out with the throw. So he's got incredible balance with that right hand. Plus, he's got amazing wrestling skills that literally will knock you out with the takedown.
He needs to watch for the suplex of Dan Henderson.
Dan Henderson coming in at a very comfortable weight of 200 pounds. That's very comfortable for him. I'm sure it's going to bring some more muscle with it.
As you see, Matt Lindland in his corner, another member of Team Quest, Ryan Parsons, another member of Team Quest, the doctor, chiropractor for him, the bald guy sitting there, also a head blade user, such as myself.
The champion is the challenger tonight in this middleweight championship bout.
Wanderlei Silva.
He is the only middleweight champion Pride has known. This will be his 5th defense of his title. This proud Brazilian, though, has been adopted by Japan, and why not? They respect the ferocious nature of his battle.
Incredibly offensive fighter. The guy he brings just unloads on people like a machine gun, keeps the pace on, and even though he gets dropped, Wanderlei's a guy that never, ever seems to be completely out of a fight.
Now, when you talk about a boxer, he's got the most amazing recovery game if you look at it from a boxing standpoint.
Exactly.
He flips his chin, in 30 seconds, he's back full bore, ready to go, and he knows how to tie up and recover. I've never seen it in another human being other than Wanderlei Silva.
I agree.
The title fight is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the United States national anthem. Championship title match. We declare that the Pride middleweight reigning champion, Mr. Wanderlei Silva, and the challenger, Mr. Dan Henderson, have met all requirements of the Pride middleweight championship title match, including weight and physical examinations, and that both the champion and the challenger were found to be in good condition both physically and mentally. We officially approve the bout between Mr. Silva and Mr. Henderson, being held here today on February 23rd, 2007 in Las Vegas, Nevada, as the Pride Middleweight Championship title match. And now, Mr. Wanderlei Silva will return the middleweight champion belt.
The middleweight belt back to Mr. Takada to be handed to the victor tonight.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the first, fighting in the blue corner. He stands 6 feet, weighing in at 199.5 pounds. From the USA and Pride Welterweight Champion, Dan Henderson. And fighting in the red corner, standing 6 feet, he weighs in 205 pounds. From Brazil, and Pride middleweight champion, Wanderlei Silva.
This match will be under the Pride Nevada title match rule and will consist of 5-minute rounds.
This is a title match. 5 minutes, 5 rounds. No head matching, no attack, throwing, no air attack upon neck. On the ground, don't stop, don't kick the head, okay? Free fight, chicken.
Third man in the ring, Yuji Shimada. This is our main event. 5 rounds for the Pride middleweight title.
Judge, you ready? You ready? Ready, go!
Henderson, the left. Wanderlei Silva in the black trunks. The camouflage trunks of Henderson.
Opens up with a left inside kick by Henderson. I think he's going to want to use a lot of movement and then look for that big right hand of his. Wanderlei also gave a lot of respect to Henderson, I think, in that opening stare down. Oh, interesting.
Henderson just slipped, and now Wanderlei tried to take advantage.
This is one of the things I don't like to have my ankles taped in the Muay Thai style, like if you see Henderson is, because if you step on your heel, the tape doesn't agree with the canvas. It becomes a slick surface.
It is going to be more slippery, and although one thing in Dan's defense, he gets a little out of control in there sometimes. What do you say, Frank?
Dan might hurt me, but yes.
Well, talk about out of control. Silva, known as Control Loco in Brazil, Mad Dog, and that's what he needs to be tonight to take out Henderson.
Well, certainly he's gone by the nickname also internationally as the Axe Murderer, and I wouldn't say it's because of his kind demeanor in the ring.
Not at all.
You know, he really, both guys are very, very nice outside the ring. They're incredible gentlemen, but then when you get inside the ring, it's like something, like a little light switch goes on, where they become the most amazing, athletic, competitive, spirited athletes you'll ever see.
Well, actually, Dan Henderson knows my money.
Does the prospect of a 5-rounder play a role right now?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because you don't want to get in too many flurries too early, especially with a guy like Wanderlei Silva, who's known to be very strong and can hit from weird positions. If you get a lot of flurries, it can take away a lot of energy coming the 4th and 5th round.
And right now, Dan's taking Wanderlei's weight. You know what? A lot of people will work off their back, but why be on bottom when you could be on top? That guy's riding you, and just like, wrestling, we're both come from a wrestling background. Being on bottom and having this guy putting his weight on you the entire time, it takes a toll.
This is all part of the chess game of MMA. Wanderlei Silva knows it better than few others. And now the referee Yuji Shimada, much to the delight of the crowd here at Thomason Mack Center in Las Vegas, gets both fighters back on their feet.
Let's see if Wanderlei cranks it up a notch and maybe comes hard with a big flurry to start off this restart.
I think Dan did just slip earlier, and that led to that long stalemate. We'll see if Dan wants to keep it up. Oh boy, he left himself open, and Silva missed him. The big right hand of Henderson comes into play.
Oh, with a knee and some short hooks inside. Eric Paulson calls this hockey punching, staying in tight, hooking under, over, around. Very similar to something you might see in an LA Kings game.
Of course, Eric Paulson being one of the best trainers, Josh's trainer, one of the best trainers in the country right now in MMA.
And the guy feels like a ton of bricks when he's on top. He says he eats lead for breakfast and has sand in his joints.
Right now it is Wanderlei Silva backed up into his red corner, and again a stalemate called by Shimada.
Now here's the thing with Dan Henderson. He's very, very strong, throws a heavy overhand right, but if he misses you with that right, he hits you with his bicep, it still knocks you off balance.
He's known for being an incredibly strong individual, Dan. You know, the kind of guy you don't want to get a headlock put onto you from.
I've actually seen him in a Greco-Roman tournament in the Pan American Games. He literally knocked his opponent out with a headlock. Wow. He had a headlock, hit him with his bicep, and knocked the guy unconscious.
A lot of respect being shown, and Henderson throwing those hands.
Big punches following that high dive by Henderson. A Greco-Roman double really is what it is.
Good hand on the chin, two of them.
Measuring that right hand, Wanderlei, surprisingly more defensive than I've ever seen him in a while.
Yeah, this is true. I haven't seen him like this in a long, long time. He might have got round in that first exchange.
I like that kick from Silva just as Henderson went to throw the punch.
Good move by Silva. I agree, Lon. That was a great tactic. Now he needs to put a few more of those together and then follow up with some hands if he wants to turn the tide of this fight.
Interestingly enough, Silva says he doesn't come into a fight with a game plan. He trains for everything, sees what the opponent gives him, and reacts to it.
Now, I saw these guys train this week when they were out working out with me over at J-Set Jiu-Jitsu and John Lewis. They were upstairs, I was training downstairs. And one of the things that Wanderlei was working on was countering the overhand right with a stiff leg kick. So maybe we're going to see a little bit more of that here later on.
And left hook by Henderson lands. Oh, and the right buckles Silva. I think he slipped more than anything, though.
Both these guys are starting to swing real widely. This is uncharacteristic of Silva. This is putting Henderson in the pocket where he wants to be.
I agree, and Silva, known for throwing blitzkrieg of short hooks, is doing it more so coming backwards than moving forward like he likes to, and Dan seems to be being more accurate with the shots on the feet, and if he can institute that counter low kick to the right hand would be a good start.
Why isn't Silva, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist, putting this guy on the ground? Is it because Henderson...
Oh, Henderson's right! He's hurt a little bit!
He's hurt good! Oh, nice flurry back by Henderson, though.
Right in the round. Oh, right at the end of the round, Henderson starting to walk to the wrong corner. And Silva rocked his opponent right at the end.
You do see a little bit of blood on Wanderlei, a little bit of blood on Henderson. It's coming out of his nose. I think the blood on Wanderlei is actually is from Henderson's nose, not that he's got a cut as well.
All right, action from the end of that first.
Big hooks by Wanderlei coming in, landing their mark, finally finding his range, and coming in with that blitzkrieg of short hooks like I mentioned.
Oh boy, Henderson was in trouble, but fought out of it, and he had help from the ring clock.
But, most of those punches are right on the button. Henderson does a great job of recovering, not turtling up. Like a lot of guys in this position will just lift their hands and take the punches. But Henderson swings back, and that's the best way to keep a guy off you, is to hit him and keep him at bay.
He's taking it, but he sure is giving it back as well.
It's amazing. I had the opportunity when Henderson and I were both on Team Raw to train together, and he's the strongest guy I've ever competed with.
I bet you really miss having your head squished all the time, don't you?
I really don't.
Round number 2. Let's see if Silva wants to capitalize on how he finished the first 5 minutes.
You got to have some confidence ending a fight that way. He did take a few stiff ones from Henderson at the bell, but really that last 10 seconds was all Silva, and you want to stay with that momentum. You want to keep that going in your favor.
Let me see if I can answer my earlier question. Does Silva respect the down game of Henderson so much that he's not too anxious to get it to the ground?
You have to understand that wrestling, whether it's freestyle or Greco-Roman, is all about controlling your opponent. So if he ends up on the ground on his back, Dan's going to be able to control him, because that's what he does. And you see a takedown right here. Oh, he's coming into it.
Knees to the head.
Silva slipped out of it.
Back to the body lock where Henderson should have the advantage here. And I think, basically, Lon, Nice knee tap by Henderson. Basically, Silva figures he's going to do the most damage on his feet. He's going to keep it there. That's where he's going to score most of his damage. That's where he's got the best chance of finishing this fight. But if there's the turn of events, Silva puts the fight puts Henderson on his back. He could wear this fight out into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Then maybe score that knockout he wants.
Back to the center of the ring. They are brought by Yuji Shimada.
Henderson's so strong in this position. It's going to be hard to sweep him. It's going to be hard to catch him in any kind of submission. So right now what's happening is that Wanderlei, like we said earlier, he's carrying all of Henderson's weight. He's carrying all this weight, and this is something you don't want to have happen to you.
Henderson's got baby-making hips, you know. It's going to be hard to get him off.
What's he got, like 12 kids now, 13 kids?
Something like that, yeah. He just shoots them out. He's a bit like one of those tennis servers.
That was Josh Bennett, Dan. It had nothing to do with it.
All right, well, Silva trying to squirm his way out. Henderson said if it goes to the ground and he's on the bottom, he will slip out. But once he gets on top of Wanderlei, he will keep it there.
Great defensive game so far by Wanderlei. You know, he's using a lot of head movement. He's keeping his hands coming up to deflect the shot. So Dan's not able to score a lot of big punches. But just the same, being on top, making Wanderlei work, pushing on his face like that, getting the short punches in there. You know, honestly, Trigg, he should probably start going to the body instead of trying to headhunt so much.
Yeah, really, because that's really what you got to do when you're in the guard. If you start headhunting, it's a lot easier to get out of the way. But if you start smacking a guy's body, he's got to play that game. Is my hand got to come up or come down on each one of these punches? Eventually, you're going to catch him flush.
Henderson, hammer fists here and there, peppering away at the axe murderer. But
like you see here, how Wanderlei keeps his legs, his feet are closed in a closed guard. You can't move your hips in a closed guard. You've got to open up your body to be able to move. If you keep Henderson in a closed guard, he's just going to keep pounding you and punishing you.
Shoulder butts from Dan Henderson.
Open up a little cut on Wanderlei's right eye, right above in the corner there. We'll see if that becomes a factor later on in this fight. Dan just being consistent and aggressive. Another shoulder butt by Dan. He's just trying to batter his foe.
Wow, Dan Henderson in control, trying to hang on. Got 2 more minutes to work on Silva.
If you notice, every time Dan sits up, a push down Wanderlei's face a little bit to create that separation, but also keeps his head still.
Oh yeah, trying to get some leverage. Once in a while, Henderson backs off and throws a punch.
There you go. If he's not hitting him with the fist, he's hitting him with the shoulder. He's trying to hit him with, use any part of his body that's allowed to cause some damage on Wanderlei, or at the very least, get in his head, frustrate him, wear him out. Armbar attempt by Wanderlei, but Dan's having none of it. Nice pass, but you know what? Didn't secure position. He's just a little too aggressive.
The 2-time Greco-Olympian is the best at that.
Here's the thing. You get space, you miss an armbar with Henderson, you got to get back to your feet immediately. You can't be content to go back to the guard. Wanderlei's just content to kind of ride this out. I don't know if he's trying to hold on and make Yuji start him back up again on their feet, or if he thinks at some point he's going to be able to wear Dan out. But this is not a position, if I'm fighting Dan Henderson, that I want to be in right now.
This slow game down there, this grind is not going to favor Silva. In fact, it would be better to just freak out, create space, give up your back, whatever, something, just to make it a flurry, somewhere where he's got movement, because right now, Dan is on him like water on rice.
Total control. He's not letting Silva flip over, give him his back, though.
No, he's not. He's staying strong inside those legs. It's just like he's going for the pin right now.
Now Dan's up, trying to get some leverage, trying to pile drive, and maybe he wants to pick him up.
You never know. I mean, Dan might...
We can't pile drive here in Nevada rules, but now Andy gets busy.
Big shots from Dan, finally finding some success on top, rocking Wanderlei a little.
They might have to move him back to the middle here. They're getting dangerously close to the edge, and that's exactly what Yuji Shimada does.
You're right. You know, Josh, I have to go back to your earlier comment. Really, Wanderlei's got to freak out here and get back to his feet. Otherwise, this round, you know, we're getting down to the end of it anyway, but the round is foregone now because Dan was on him. About 30 seconds ago, he needed to sprint out of this position, get back to his feet, and at least have a chance of throwing some bombs.
And Wanderlei is not really known for his finesse, and right now, that's kind of the position here he's putting himself. And he's flat on his back, his hips aren't moving. He's got to make something happen. And maybe he just expects, hey, I'll give this round up, come out hard the next one. Good armbar attempt.
The armbar, Henderson slips out of it. Oh, big overhand right into the gut. Right at the end of the round.
Now, if we got to go, now remember, these are different rules than we're used to in Japan, Josh.
Right.
It's a completely different factor. If you got to go off of right now or in the Nevada State Athletic Commission rules, who do you think right now, if the fight ended right now, who's winning the fight?
It's most definitely going to be Henderson at this point. I think he's really doing a great job of controlling, even if the first round was a draw. Bam! Nice shoulder strike. In fact, almost popped his mouthpiece out with that second one. Clearly putting his weight behind it and getting a lot of shock behind it. Bam, right in the temple there.
You know, the one thing that Dan's doing a lot better job of in this fight that I've seen in the past is staying action. If you take a look at the Rockstar Energy Drink replay, Dan tends not to have as much action on top. This time he really is moving a lot. He's being very mobile, very action-oriented. That's a complete change in his game over his last 3 fights.
You tie him up, but he still finds a way to hit you.
An amazing first and second round. 3 more to go. Is Wanderlei Silva just frustrated beyond speaking right now?
Well, you know, he's sort of just forcing low kicks right now. I mean, they're landing, but it doesn't look like, hey, I'm going to set this up. It's just like, I'm ticked off at you, and I'm going to hit you with anything I can.
Knee strikes from Silva as he backs up to the ropes.
Now, you know for sure that, Wanderlei Silva comes from a great academy, the Shoot the Box Academy down in Brazil.
Wow.
They told him, hey, look, you're losing this fight. You've got to steal these next 2 rounds just to get a tie going into the 5th round. So if you don't pick up the pace, keep it on your feet, you're going to be in trouble.
Boy, I tell you, I've watched a lot of fights. The story of the fighter himself is in the eyes, and the eyes of Wanderlei right now show a lot of worry.
They know with Matt Lillard, Ryan Parsons, and Henderson's corner, they told him the same thing. Look, relax, take your time, take a breather, because you know you win the first 2 rounds. Pick your spots, pick your pace. When the action is there, take advantage of it.
Wow, he lines up that right hand, scores. Didn't drop him, but you know that's going to count later on in this fight. Right into the double. Nice high double. Finishes strong with Wanderlei with the hips and tries to roll back on top. Gets the hip heist. Now into a front headlock, a position where Dan should really be in control. And Wanderlei now behind.
And this is not where Henderson wants to be, but what a great reversal from Silva, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialist. Into the neutral corner. A lot of time left in this 3rd round.
Oh, wow, great right hook by Wanderlei. We could hear it down here at the announcer's table. Sounded like a piece of flesh getting hit with a sledgehammer.
Wow, that was the most amazing left hook that I've ever seen. Great position, stepped out and popped him.
More low kicks from Wanderlei. Oh, nice counter.
He set him up for that one.
How do you like that one, Lon?
He set him up beautifully. What a spinning back fist. He took the short punch and then spun and captured that fist.
Way to go, Dan Henderson, adding another tool to his arsenal.
He drew Silva in for that. He knew it all the way what was happening. Oh, right hand.
Dan Henderson owns 2 belts. He's got the middleweight. Oh my God!
Crushing left hand to finish that fight. Oh my God!
Dan Henderson does it.
Thanks.
Finish worthy of Chuck Norris.
Lining him up with that left hand followed right behind the right. Dan's got another bomb in his arsenal.
Misses with the right, immediately comes back with that left hook, throwing combinations that every great fighter should. Puts Wanderlei down, knocks him completely unconscious.
That is supreme confidence in your abilities right there. Ding, bam. There he goes, right on the chin, and this is the first time Wanderlei has ever lost a title match, let alone he hasn't been KO'd in forever.
It's really amazing to see how much. You have to understand something here. Dan Henderson's a 185-pound champion. He moved up in weight class to fight the 205-pound champion. He now owns 2 belts. This has never happened before in MMA history. We have one man that owns 2 belts in 2 weight classes.
Right, by moving up.
And now for the Pride Middleweight Title Match Commendation Ceremony. The champion will be presented with the winner's prize trophy by Pride Executive Director Nobuhiko Takada.
Okay, done. Okay. The ceremony.
Ceremony, here.
Second coming by Dream Stage Entertainment. I hereby grant this certificate in hope of your continued endeavor. February 20th, 2007, Dream Stage Entertainment. Congratulations.
America's best. 2 belts now. Dan Henderson. Give it up for this guy right here. All right, Dan, first off, man, you're going to have a busy time now that you got 2 belts, but you got to be overwhelmed with emotion right now.
Undescribable right now. It's just undescribable. There's no way I couldn't have done it without my team over here, Team Quest. Soon becoming the best team in the world. Right here.
All right, we got to give him take his mouthpiece out. Hey, let's look at the screen here, because I want to know where Dan Henderson learned to throw that spinning back fist at. Walk us through this one, man.
Well, that wasn't a spinning back fist. Everybody's always talking about my right hand, but I guess I got a hell of a left hook too.
Did this fight surprise you? Wanderlei seemed a little different this fight.
That was the spinning back fist there. Just beautiful.
Where'd you learn that from, man? I ain't seen that out of you lately, if ever.
I tend to do it when I get a little bit out of position, so I pretty much do it either way. I guess it works a little bit. Got him off me, so.
Now what? What do you want to do now? You got 2 belts. What are you going to do now, man?
Well, right now, I hope all you guys join me. I'm going to Body English to have a few beers. That's at the Hard Rock. Everybody be there. You know, it's either that or at Wanderlei's after party in the hospitals. So.
Hey, we want
We want to take a look. Let's take one more look at that knockout and tell me what was going through your minds when you dropped him. Right here, what were you thinking?
I was like, shit, I just got him good with my left hook. I better finish him. I got a really nice left hook, but, you know, in practice, I tend to look at my work a little too much rather than finishing the guy, so, because that's practice.
After you know, party tonight at Body English, where do you want to go next? Who do you want to fight? Want to get some rest? Who do you want to fight?
You know, I was thinking even before this fight that I was going to let my body heal up a little bit, but the closer it got to the fight, I think the excitement got to me and my body's feeling good, so I'm ready to go whenever Pride wants to put me in. I don't know, maybe I'll go for a third belt, and I can't make lightweight, so you never know, I might end up at heavyweight.
All right, give it up, America's best, Dan Henderson, now the Pride welterweight champion and also the Pride middleweight champion. Back to you guys ringside.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Congratulations to Dan Henderson. Pride 33, the second coming from Las Vegas, is in the books, and what an exciting night we had. A lot of surprises.
They should have named it the Underdogs Night, really.
You know, really, we gotta thank Rockstar, we gotta thank Caesar's Palace, the Thomas and Mack Arena. They did such a great job of making sure everything ran smoothly for this event. You know, of course, a little selfish. Headblade, you know, had Chuck Norris here, Harrison Ford, Nicolas Cage, you know, helped out. This was an incredible night once again.
I agree. I've been stunned just watching it. I'm glad to be here in the booth for the pro like Lon McCarron and, well, this guy, Frank Trigg.
All right, it was a pleasure, guys. It was a star-studded night full of fire bombs from right and left. Congratulations on a coup de grace finishing the night. Dan Henderson, a two-belt champion for Pride. For Josh Barnett, Frank Trigg, Dennis Kang, and Jerry Millen, I'm Lon McCarron. How could you not but love tonight's action? So long from Las Vegas.